Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast on this beautiful Willie Wednesday afternoon. And it's finally about time. I got my cast off. Let's freaking go. After 6 months of being in a cast, I'm finally free. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor today to sit down with my friend and the legend, Mario Faraone. What is up, Mario?
Man, what's going on, dude? I'm just trying to survive, have some fun while doing it.
Listen, we all are, right? So, yeah, that's life, living life, being happy and humble and spreading the positive vibes and loves around, man. That's what it's about, bro.
Exactly, exactly.
So I'm with it on that, man. Listen, dude, it's little backstory. I want to tell everybody how me and Mario finally met. We were friends on Facebook. I ended up showing up to Azure race weekend, courtesy of my buddy Riston Grigg. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'll be at VR. Come hang out for the weekend. You already know I'm there, right?" So I show up and there's Mario. I'm like, "What is up, dude?" And during the weekend, I got to eat this most delicious food that everybody, if you have not tried it yet, you always hear about it. It is absolutely what everybody says it is. Delicious, worth the wait, worth to stand in line, worth just to show up to the race weekend.
Yeah, I think we fed a lot of people that weekend. I know we did pork. I think we did some pork belly burn-ins. We also did some brisket, and then we did some pulled pork as well, which is typically a staple for me. Just being a Carolina boy, I got to have the pork, right?
You got to, man. You got to, man. So, Ryan Snyder, what is up, Ryan? So he says, let's go. I actually talked to Ryan earlier today. I actually met him too at Jersey last year for the first time for us being friends too, as well, for a long time on Facebook. And Ryan, thank you again for all the love and support, man. It really means so much, man. It really does. And then Russ Danner, welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. He says, Mario.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
Ryan and Russ are good people, good friends of mine. Ryan actually born friends. That's family right there. And that's one of the cool things about this whole track stuff, right? We're such a small community that we all end up being family of some sort. I've met so many great people, so many good people. Ryan just being one of them. I was going through some problems last year. Just dealing with some family, family stuff and all that. And Ryan, man, didn't skip a beat. Every 5 minutes, boom, dude, you good? You good? Just checking it. So that's family right there.
100%, man. I tell everybody that's one of the most beautiful things about our beautiful circus is the people you meet. They're like instant family. It goes along with what I always say. None of us are strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, goes side by side. Ron says fastest barbecue master on the track, and that's a fact too, my friend. So yeah, actually, Ron and he brought one of his daughters there. And Ron, I'm sorry, I forget her name. You guys know I'm not really good with names. So, yeah, it was awesome to run in and to finally, when I meet all my friends, to me, it's a full circle thing. It's beautiful. Yeah, can't wait to see you again in Atlanta. But enough of all that, dude. We got a lot to talk about, Mario. I'm super excited to sit down in this. And as I always start the podcast off with, where did it all start for you, my friend?
And for me, it started. Um, started at a really young age in motocross. One of the people my dad worked with did motocross, and they invited us out to a weekend. I just instantly fell in love with it. I was like 5 years old, and I remember on my sixth birthday, it was, my dad showed up with a KX60 in the back of the pickup truck, and that's what I walked out to for my sixth birthday. And after that, I just fell in love. My parents tried to do a Ducati Cagiva, a Moto Guzzi dealership in Durham back in the late 80s. Unfortunately, everything was kind of a little weird at that time and ended up going under, but I've just always been there. I've always kind of watched it, even though someone my size, you think I should be on a Harley or doing something like that, but it's always been motocross or sport bikes and things like that. I've always tried to do the unconventional stuff like skateboard, BMX, mountain bike, as big as I am. Oh, you play football? Yeah, I did that, but I like the other stuff.
Right? It always I love the stories of everybody, all my friends that come on here and tell, because it starts from that original, you know, KX60 coming home on, in the first, you're like, yes, let's go. And then, who would have thought where it would lead you to right now in the path that you're on, all from that one time of your childhood.
It's crazy because I never really thought I would have gotten to where I've gotten, right? And especially in unconventional, because it was from, in North Carolina, had plenty of places to ride and do everything, and then moved down to Florida, and it turned into boats and fishing and stuff, and got away from motorcycles for a while, and just came back to motorcycles when I moved back to the Carolinas.
So when you come back to Carolina, what's the first bike you got?
Same bike I'm riding at the track, a ZX10R.
I love it, man. I love it. Right. So, coming back to North Carolina, getting a ZX10, obviously riding on the street. How did you find about, track days and rider school and all that good stuff?
So, one of my buddies, and then actually we got in with a group that I used to ride with, going doing mountain runs up 181 and over to the Dragon, and and Devil's Whip and all of that stuff. They actually talked about racing, and they were, I think at the time was Nesba or something, and they were all in that. And then they were doing, they were talking about going to the track and everything. And I live 45 minutes to an hour away from CMP, so I did my first track day there with Sport Bike Track Time, and really, really just enjoyed it. The last time on the track, my buddy Scott was crashed his Ducati, and I was like, nope, done, no more. I mean, we had that day, that ride. I remember it. We had people throwing rocks at us and just doing stuff, and then like he ends up getting a ticket because he had a mechanical, and the cops didn't even really care about what happened or whatever, just immediately assumed we were doing dumb stuff. So it was like, no, once I hit the track, did that, ride on the street didn't make sense anymore.
Yeah. Do you think that it brings me to a question? We on social media now, there's so many people, influencers that do all these super fast riding on the street, and it's not something I encourage at all. I tell everybody take it to the track, right? But do you think that has an influence on the way things are now, and as far as that goes?
I think it does a little bit of both, right? I think there's some opportunities to utilize it, good and bad, and I think there's some opportunities to maybe get them to try to do it. The influencers, I think, make the most, that I actually kind of follow on social media, and the ones that I see that are doing street riding, and they also do track, and then they encourage track. And to me, I don't care if you're a stunner or if you're a Harley guy, or what you're riding, right? I just love the fact that someone else is on two wheels. If you're one of these people that are wanting to go around and just as fast as you can on the street, and that's what gets it off for you, that's cool. And that's on you, because that's your life. That's your life, that's going to happen. And some people are going to tune into that because they want to see if the dude's going to yeet himself off the side of a freaking mountain.
Yeah,
And if he does, he does. He doesn't, he doesn't. But everything's to the to the extent they're getting the views. Unfortunately, it's also causing some bad raps as well. But to me, I think that's where us in the track community, and us that are responsible, we need to make sure that we're educating people, we're educating our friends, we're showing how much fun that we can have. I mean, to me, like, the whole track scene isn't just about riding. It's about what we do in the paddock as well, right? I mean, like on Instagram, I call myself Paddock Pitmaster because that's where I throw my barbecues, and that's where I enjoy, right? But I can go to a track and be just as happy in the paddock. Yeah, do I want to be out on the bike and racing and being with friends and out there riding? Yeah, absolutely. But the social aspect, the community aspect, the love that you can have in the paddock is just as much important as it is what we're doing on the bike.
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. It always feels like going home when I go to all the races, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see everybody at Road Atlanta. I'm so excited. Let's go. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Everything you said. Alex Johansson, what is up, my man? He says Mario, my Michigan brother.
Yeah, I lived up there for a while. Every time we see each other, that man right there. If you want to watch somebody that's fun to watch, coming up, Alex is the guy. Young kid, enjoying himself. Beautiful young family. It's just at CMP, did some really awesome stuff. Riding with those ready to ride boys. good group of people. I love seeing them at the track.
Oh yeah, for sure. So big shout out to RTR, man. I give him a shout out on the podcast all the time. Ryan Snooks and Logan Cunnison and
Hmm.
Alex and everybody. Yeah, it's I met so funny because when I met you that weekend, I also met Alex too as well. Um, obviously he was right next to Ryan. So yeah, man, let's go, dude. And then we got Danny Ray. What is up, Danny? He says, Mario.
Danny, you didn't get a Willie picture of me, brother. I actually Willied this weekend. You didn't get me.
Well, you missed your opportunity, Danny. No, I'm just kidding. You'll have plenty more. That's awesome. Shame on you. No, I'm just playing.
I tell you what,
Uh,
Danny's one of those great guys too. He's awesome to have at the track. And him and Josh working together for the pictures. I mean, these guys are just doing amazing work, and we need to make sure that we're supporting our photographers. These guys are out there in the heat, getting bit, by insects, and snakes are coming up to them, and they're doing everything, and security harassing them, and they're trying to do it, make us look fast when we all know we suck at what we do.
No, you're right. Big shout out to all the photographers, and you too, Danny, as well. It takes a lot to you guys have the best spots in the house anyway, right? Up close and personal. You get access to places that us mere mortals don't have no access to, but the work and the size of the cameras and the weight, everything that goes into it, it's absolutely amazing, and people don't realize them and the corner marshal workers how much work that they put in and love that they give to the sport too as well. So big shout out to all the corner marshal workers too, because if we didn't have them or the air fence or the ambulance, Mario wouldn't be showing up doing barbecues and racing. So, and we'd all miss out on racing and good food. We don't want that.
Absolutely. I know at Azra Gator, and one of our head marshal, the guy that does our corner working, Gator's got a rule: don't fuck with the cook.
You guys, hey, yeah, dude, listen. So I got another buddy of mine that cooks too, Jeff Serving Chef Eats. Um,
Absolutely,
yeah,
Jeff.
dude,
Matter of
Jeff.
fact, Jeff just chimed in on the chat. What's
Oh
up,
yeah, he
buddy?
did. Big sexy. What is up, Jeff? Man, everybody knows I always talk about Chef Eats. What are you guys doing as you're listening to us flap these gums right now? Go to chefeats.com. Yeah, and sign
Yeah.
up.
I
Get
got to
the
put my order in this weekend. I haven't done
mhm,
it because I've been away the last couple weeks.
mhm.
Jeff, I hope you got your butt rubs from the last order I put in.
because he's going to put in another one. I love it, man. As you folks too do as well. I said folks, as you people do too as well. As yeah, put your order, man. It's yeah, I love supporting all my friends in the paddock that has anything to do with racing. I love to send people in business their way because if they're growing, and that means our paddock is growing too as well. So it's nothing but love for everybody out there. Um, Ryan Snyder says track family, absolutely, Ryan, and then Andrew Davis. What is up, my man? Um, Let's see. Jeff Servin says, "Love y'all. Miss you, Mario. Haha. Always, bro. Thank you guys. No, man. Thank you for what you do, Jeff, because you play a huge role in supporting, especially all the young kids coming up through our racing categories too, as well, and providing them with healthy meals and go fast meals and make them feel good and lean and mean and fast and all that good stuff. It's all because of the love you put in the food, brother. So yeah, thank you. Just like Mario right here, right? It's
Absolutely.
so at VIR real quick, he was like, "Man, are you hungry?" And I was absolutely starving. He's like, "You gotta try this barbecue." And I was like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go turn my car off. I'll be right back." It was good. It was
Yeah.
really good. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
try, man. I mean, I think me and Jeff have actually had this conversation, and then actually one of the guys in that team photo, also CJ and Derek, we've all had these conversations where one of the great things about cooking is it gives you an opportunity to bring people together that may not have ever met. I throw the barbecue at Daytona all the time, the last 2 years, and then every other places as well, some other places, and I'll probably throw one at VIR too coming up in June for Azra.
I'll
But
be there.
that's my birthday weekend too,
I'll
so
be
you
there,
better
good
be
brother.
there.
I will be.
So the other thing but the thing about it is what's great is you can cook this food, and some people are going to love it, some people aren't. It's everyone's got a different palate, and that's fine. you know but the most important thing for me is I can look around and see people talking, having conversations with someone that they may have not. I've gotten some of my best coaching just by sitting over a plate of food and drinking a beer with somebody. I've learned more having those conversations than I ever did on the track. And then the next day I can go and apply it to that. And, just it's my way to give back to the sport, my way to show love to the people that are out there helping me. And by doing so, I think it also helps create this community, you know, uh, and I hope it continues to grow.
Dude, absolutely, Mario. It will, because again, what you're doing by spreading the love is absolutely amazing, man. It's your way of giving back. It's just like I do what I do, giving back to the sport. Giving the voice and the platform to everybody. It don't matter for club racers, track days, wanting to get into it. Let's go, because that's how our sport grows, right? You just feed the bellies.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, if just by offering a little bit of food or just that community, you know, who knows what type of day that person had on the track. They could have had a crap day and then just not having to leave the track and just being able to go and, hey, come over, grab some food. That may turn their day around, just by doing that. I don't know that, but they may do that. So, I mean,
100%.
that's what we do.
That's exactly what we do. And dude, yeah, you're absolutely amazing too, Mario. So thank you for doing what you do, brother man, for sure. Andrew Davis is making me laugh. He says, "Wait, you got butt rubs from Jeff? I feel cheated."
I always get butt rubs from Jeff.
I have no comment because you're really gonna be mad, Andrew. Oh my god. And then Don Atkins, what is up? He says, send some food. Show up to Road Atlanta next week or 2 weekends from now.
Actually, Oscar, we're coming to Mid Ohio in August, so you make sure you come and get food there.
There you go, my friend, and enjoy, because I know you will. And then of course we got Derek. What is up, Derek? Man, it was great to meet you at Daytona. Mario is the most important one in that background picture. So that picture back there, since we're talking about it right now, Mario, introduce everybody. Tell them how you got to know everybody, and a little bit about the story.
So, we got Manzel, his wife Jess, we got Christina, we got Derek De La Noche, Scott Gilbert, we got Trev, and then our crew chief Jennifer, his wife, and then we got Derek, Sarah, Derek's brother. We got CJ, Andrew Graham, who is also Trident Cycles, and then Derek De La Noche just showed up. What's up, guys? And then we also got Tommy. So all these guys are guys I have met through Evolve GT track days and Azure Racing, and I don't know why I'm all messed up now, but whatever. Um,
You're like a cool hologram from Star Wars there for a second. My young Padawan.
yeah. So Manzel and I really, we're both big guys, and we were running about the same lap times and everything, and we just both we got together that way. When you see another big guy out on the track, and it's like cool, you get to be there with someone and you do it, and you have that person that you can latch onto and learn from and get faster. And both of us just instantly hit it off. And then like Trev and Derek and everybody, we just it all happened naturally, and that's one of the really great things about our group is how organic it happened. It's just add this person here, add this person here. We've had others that have kind of come and gone, and we've have others that are part time or come about. I mean, everything kind of happens like that, right? But all these people, that's my entire family right there. There's obviously others that I consider family too, but these people here, I mean, Scott Gilbert. little funny thing is, Scott Gilbert. I met him at my very first Evolve track day, VIR. He was sleeping in a little tiny tent, had this old truck, long bed truck, and we were pitted next to him, and I just started talking to him. He left and went to New Zealand for a while, and then came back and saw him at Summit Point, and we instantly started talking again and everything. And he's been a big help to me with learning. And then, Trev joined from a couple other people, and Trev's become, I remember at one point in time in the track day career, I was faster than Travis. And now he's the fastest one out there between all of us. So
I love it. It's funny how it happens. And listen, for all you guys that I met at Daytona because of Mario, it was an absolute honor to meet each and every single one of you guys and girls, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and having this same conversation with you guys in the future too as well. I think it's a beautiful thing. Again, it goes to show our beautiful circus and how it changes our lives, even though at the time walking into it you don't realize that this path is going to take you down, and what it brings to you and the meaning and joy it brings to your lives on a day-to-day basis too. Not just once a month, 2 3 times a year I get to show up to the races. It's I constantly think about it. I'm constantly reaching out, and it's yeah, it's a beautiful thing, as I always say. So it's an absolute honor, man.
And that's something that we need, we need people not only supporting like Moto America, we need people supporting Azra. We need people supporting Wira. I don't care what race org you're out there with, right? Go out to the track, even if you don't want to race, go and watch these guys. The more we bring people or bring someone that may just like motorsports. Oh, I'm in the cars. Okay, cool. You like racing? Cool. Let's go. Go to your local track, get out there and have them see what the racing is, because there is some amazing racing. We have Moto America guys in those local club races. You're seeing professionals and you have access to be able to talk to these guys. I mean, come on. You're not going to get that in car racing. I mean, occasionally you may get somebody to do something, but motorcycle racing is the most accessible to your top tier people. I mean,
100%.
look at what we were doing at Daytona. We had Keanu Reeves there, right? I mean, that's
Bro,
cool. Like, I know we don't want it. He doesn't want it about him, which is great. It's about the motorcycles, but at the same time, he's there as a fan, and that's amazing to see. And to see some of these other, celebrities that come out and come through there. And we had international guys, Peter Hickman there. And then Azra, we had Gary Johnson there. You
yep,
know, back from the TT. So
which is a
shout out to
legend.
Gary, by the way.
Big
Love
shout
that guy.
out to Gary. Yeah, I met Gary at BSB at Cadwell Park, and Dave Neal. So big shout out to my good buddy Dave Neal. He has a podcast called Off Track out there, and you guys in the UK, you guys and girls tune in and listen, go like and subscribe. But he leans over, he's like, "Turn around," and I turn around. He says, "Do you know who that is?" I was like, "Bro, are you kidding me right now?" I was like, "Bro, what is up, man?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, so it's one thing that I come to realize too is traveling, going to all these different races around the world. We're all the same human beings on the
Mhm.
same planet in the same beautiful circus. Whether you speak Japanese, Thailand, it don't matter. We're all the same. We all have the same love and the same passion for two wheels, which is a beautiful thing. So, and your point on Keanu, it's good to see somebody like him not only have a motorcycle company too as well, but give back to the sport in that way. Bring Corey Alexander on, with the whole Arch motorcycle and the Super Hooligan class that weekend, which is absolutely amazing. Are they going to be in for the full season? I'm not sure. I hadn't heard anything about it.
I'm not sure if they're in for the full season. I believe they are. I believe they're doing the full program. I mean, I know for Super Hooligans, we got Daytona, we got Road Atlanta coming up. The next one after that, I believe, is the Ridge, and then
You know,
Laguna, and then we end it with Mid Ohio.
Jersey. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mid Ohio. That's right.
Yeah,
Um,
I wish they'd do a little bit more on the Super Hooligan stuff, but I mean, to me, that class is just fun to watch. I mean, sometimes hate the Moto America coverage sometimes because they're focusing on those top group, which is cool. It's great because that is some good racing. But man, there was some amazing racing in the back in the Daytona. I mean, Derek De La Noche, one of my riders, he went from dead last all the way up to 19th or 18th, and his last lap, I've never seen someone get that close to the wall. He literally drafted the wall and pulled away from everybody by doing it. I mean, he's probably like he was maybe an inch or two away from the wall using it as a draft, and it was an amazing move.
oh yeah, I agree, man. It's I love Moto America just like we all do. Sometimes I feel like if they listen, that I'm giving them a hard time. I'm not. It's just things that I see that they can improve on. One of those things, that point you just made. we love all the top names and the people, the household names that made it in the sport. We want to see
Absolutely.
the mid pack and in the backfield, the people that also are, second mortgages, or the bank said, hey, you can't get no more mortgages. This is it. If it don't work, like, yeah, you're in debt forever, right? And the credit cards and credit scores that are messed up, the divorces, and
Hmm.
those are the unsung heroes. Those are the ones that make the circus really go round and round. So yeah, that's also why I do what I do, right? But yeah,
Exactly. You're giving a voice to those people, right?
yeah,
And it's amazing what you do, because you're giving that voice to those people to let them be seen, let them be heard. Because all of us have stories, and you know that, and that's why you're doing this.
yeah.
Is and quite and honestly, that's what's great about what I feel like I do, is we get to hear those stories over food too.
I know
Right?
you
I
do.
get to You get to sit there and just have a conversation. "Hey, how'd you like your food?" "Oh, yeah, by the way, my name's Mario." Start talking, "Oh, this is your first track day, this whatever," it's loving it.
It is. It's part of the beautiful circus and community. You meet again family members you never thought you'd run into because none of us are strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet, right? So in
Exactly.
food is and Jeff Servant, food is love, bro. A universal language. You're absolutely right. You can make really good food and it brings so many people together, and there's conversations that are had that otherwise would have never been had and people would have never met, all because of simple ingredients that you guys throw together, and it's absolutely delicious. So yeah, absolutely. Russ says Mario is the real deal. Yes, he is.
Thanks, Russ.
Absolutely, yes, he is. And then we have, let me see, hang on, why won't this pull up real quick? Let me see, I did something wrong. Here we go. Don, sorry, he says, okay, because I send the cookies to you guys, so looking for the food. Hello, well, hold on. What kind of cookies are you sending, Don? That's what I want to know.
So, Oscar's my cousin, one of my older cousins, and we have it's basically no bake cookies, and we've named them Oscar cookies because he's got a recipe that none of us can really duplicate, and it's absolutely amazing. So I've been bothering him for a couple years about like sending them to us. Like, dude, you need to send them some, send us some. He finally did it because usually what happens is he makes them and then he eats them all before he gets it. He gets it sent out. So he sent cookies. And I'll be up in mid Ohio because he lives up that way. So he'll definitely get some food this year.
Yeah, dude, listen. Yeah, I'm jealous. I need some cookies too, but I feel you. I'd probably eat them before I send them out. I'm sorry, guys. I'll make another batch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
I don't blame him. I don't blame you, brother. I don't. He says, I will be there. Good, because I'll be there too. So looking forward to meeting you. And then we got another good friend of Jamari. What is up? She says, just like they should have mentioned the only Florida boy there, Dan. I agree with you guys. Listen, yeah, Dan Spalding. He's absolutely the real deal too. So big shout out to Dan. He he's actually the first ambassador for Pendergast podcast, and I keep saying it. I keep smiling because who would have thought, right? But yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He was there at Daytona too on a Ducati.
Hmm.
Um, Things didn't go the way that as we all know, we show up to the track or track day or club race or big race event. Things don't always go as planned, and it's just part of the game we play. So you got to take the good with the bad and learn what things went wrong and learn from it, progress, and show up and yeah, knock her down again and get to it. So absolutely. And then we got Brett Baker. What is up, Brett, my man? I can't wait to have a chat with you, my friend. He
Oh,
says, "What?
dude. Let me warn you. When you get Brett started, just go ahead and sit down and just plan to stay there for a couple hours because Brett's going to talk to you.
I love it, man. So I got to be prepared, like with my good buddy Cole King, right? It's like that with Cole. I remember
Mhm.
he was the longest podcast ever done, and I remember when I asked him, "Tell us how I got started." He talked straight for an hour. It was like 59 minutes and some seconds, and I was like, he's got a lot to say, right? So, but
Yeah,
it's fun. It was beautiful, and that almost 4 hours went by like this. And then when we did our part two, I was like, okay, we're only gonna stay on for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and we're over 2 hours. It was just, but that's what happens when you get two friends together and you have this natural
absolutely.
conversation. It just time slows down, and all of a sudden you look at the clock, you're like, yeah, I gotta go, guys. So, or my wife's
Absolutely.
blowing up my phone. She's like, it's time to get off. So that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, so Brett says one of the greatest days I've had at the track was 2 years ago at Daytona at Mario's party.
Yeah, we had, and yeah, that first weekend, that was my first time at Daytona, and so to give you a little background at Daytona, for me, I used to work there. I worked the start finish line for security, done a couple things there, and then my dad was always a motorsports guy. It didn't matter what type of racing it was, he was always watching it. So Daytona and like Indy and Monaco, and there's a couple that are certain like holy grails for me in my mind. And Daytona, you just feel the magic of the place. And 2 years ago, was when I threw my first barbecue there, and it was just magical. Like the amount of people that came, it just showed up, and just the good time, the great conversations that were had. I mean, even last year's, I know Brett didn't show up to last year's, but last year's barbecue was amazing too. I watched, the Bison, Rob and Tasha doing having great conversations with people that I think they ended up sponsoring maybe because of some of those conversations. I know I saw some of the KYT guys were there too. And, it was other cool things it wasn't just like, some of us back markers or whatever. It was some of the fast boys. We had like Joey Lamondre showed up, and he always loves to grab barbecue and stuff. And shout out to Joey, he's doing some great things out there. And great family. And then you get all those little, and I think Matthew Chapin came by, and him and his dad showed up and grabbed some barbecue as well. And it's great to have that, right? Especially those young kids that is the next generation of fast guys that we're going to see. So,
100%.
being able to have those conversations and to see it, and just, I love it when the family comes, and they bring the family, and they bring the little ones, like Ryan, for instance. He brings the entire family. And there's a couple female coaches I know Ryan's kids just love seeing out there, because that gives them inspiration, like, hey, we can do that too. And those kids need to see that.
Absolutely, 110%. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right. One thing is every time I go to, especially VIR, because it's local to me, I try to bring somebody that's never been to a track, or like you said earlier, is a
Mhm.
fan of NASCAR or F1, or whatever it is. Hey, come on out, take a look at the sport that I and so deeply in love with, and check it out. I introduce you to everybody and have fun, get your pictures, autographs, and I encourage all of them to, they have merch, man. Just buy a shirt from one of my friends. It helps everybody out tremendously. You guys and girls have no idea how much it helps out when you purchase a hat or a shirt from somebody. Speaking of Bazooka Joe, he's an absolute legend. Um, Always love running into Joe. He's absolutely man, he's a very humble, loving young man that's super talented that will go far in this sport.
Absolutely.
But it all also evolves around being with the right team. And one thing that's constant in our sport, always has been, is the whole money situation. So yeah, man. Speaking of that, man, we got Jerome in the house. Balachowski. What is up, Jerome? My man, dude. Long time no hear from. He says, good to see Mario on the show. He's the heartbeat of Elvolve. Yes, he is. I said that all messed up. Elvolve. Evolve. Yeah, so Jerome's absolutely awesome. I actually reached out to him and bought my Brembo Master Cylinder from my RC51. Um, Hit him up over anybody and was like, "Hey, because I see him on social media and I knew he, sold stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me give Jerome buy something from him." So
Yeah,
yeah,
Jerome's a great guy. Just saw him at VIR on Monday as well, out there having fun. I mean, not for nothing, but Jerome can't had that really bad accident at VIR, and to see him come back and still doing what he loves is just an amazing thing to see.
hundred
So
percent.
always appreciative to see him. He always tries to make everybody feel good as well, gives out good vibes to everybody, and does his best to support as much people as possible.
100%. Yeah, I haven't had the honor to meet Jerome, but one day I will. I'll be yeah, dude, you guys got my number, man. Just hit me up. Tell me when you're gonna be at VIR. I'll absolutely show up 110%. We'll hang out, do some live videos, and have fun. Hopefully Mario will be there, so we'll get some good food.
Well, if
Yeah.
it's an involved track day, more than likely I'll be there. Or if it's a Nazareth event, that's kind of who I am. Where I'm with. I found my family with Evolve. It's not that I don't enjoy some of the other orgs. I know people from Precision. I know Into. I know people at Sport Bike Track Time. I've kind of done them, but I encourage anyone, find your family, and for me, Evolve was who my family ended up being. I know there's others that, love into. Nothing wrong with what they do. I think I got friends over there and I enjoy them too, you know. But Evolve is definitely my home. So,
Yeah.
where I'll be at is either Evolve Day or an Azure weekend.
No, I mean, speaking of that, you're right. It's like when I talk about custom suits and people hit me up on Messenger all the time, they're like, "But you're Bison," and I am, which bring me to a point. Big shout out to Bison. What are you guys doing? It's 2025. Love yourself, treat yourself, get you a full custom suit. You deserve it. Take the off the rack suit, make a purse, a backpack, something, give it to one of your loved ones. Get you a full custom suit. You deserve it. It makes a world of a difference. You already know what I'm gonna say bisontrack.com all the freaking way. Let's freaking go. So but yeah, it's Mario and you got a full custom suit too as well.
Absolutely. I'm a hazardous guy. So RJ, I mean, nothing wrong with Bison. Love those guys. Love those guys. But RJ's one, found him through Evolve, and he's been there. He's been a big supporter of me and everything. So obviously, I support him. Me and him become good friends, and he's trying to do some big things this year with Hazardous. So definitely reach out. Bison. Reach out to them too. They're supporting, one of my riders, Travis, 814 there. They're doing great things. They also, supported my good friend John Suberlin for a long time too. So and to see what they've done, to see how they've done their grassroots and get out there with people, and how they've marketed and what they're doing and everything's been amazing. And then I got to meet them at Daytona, because of my barbecue. So it was amazing that way. But yeah, I I I actually just got off of a phone call a couple hours ago with a buddy of mine that crashed at CMP, really bad off. And had a conversation with him about you need to be riding with an airbag. You need to have that. This is what's going to save your life, and maybe probably would have saved you from some of the injuries that you had. So just had that conversation, and hopefully, he definitely agreed. Said I won't be back on track till I have one of those.
Yeah, and speaking of, you know, uh, back to my point, original point I was going to make, is what you talking about. Every track day has its own, even though we're the same beautiful circus, but they all have their own certain vibes and energies to them, right? It's just like leather suits. You're not going to go wrong if you go buy an Envy suit. I'm not going to be mad. I freaking
Oh,
love Homeboy from Envy. We're really good friends, right? And I'm friends with a lot of people in the industry that make suits. You're not going to go wrong. Find just find what suits you the best energy wise and go
hmm
with that. My point is bisontrack.com. Uh get you a full custom suit. I had to throw that in there, man.
absolutely. You had
Yeah,
to.
yeah, you got to, man. It makes a world of a difference. And speaking of that, real quick, we're gonna say that undersuits. Bring more undersuits than you do underwear because at the end of the day, you can always put on an undersuit and you're good to go to go home. So yeah, we all been there. We know. Do yourself
Yeah.
a favor.
They don't make I'm a big boy. They don't make them big enough for me. So, I'm stuck with just get the Under Armour and then the Reebok, big and tall shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, so I I don't know how I see some people wearing like t-shirts and stuff, and I'm like, how are you doing
Yeah.
that?
I don't either. But dude, have you talked to like Tate or Bison or anybody about, man, they can get you an undersuit. I'm sure that'll fit.
I haven't as of yet, but
All
it's
right,
a good
well,
idea.
listen, after this conversation, stay with me, my friend. I got you. So yeah, man. So anyway, getting back into racing and cooking, where did you find your love for cooking? I always got it from my mom. I grew up with my mom. I grew up in the Navy. My dad was always gone, so my mom cooked all the time. She didn't work hardly. So I paid attention to her cooking, and obviously I love mama's cooking. Who don't love mama's cooking, right? And then when I finally moved out on my own, I started cooking myself because I paid attention, mama. And it fell in love with cooking too as well because again, it's cooking's like life and it's like track days or racing. You throw these ingredients together, you kind of have an idea of what you expect, and it turns out totally fucking different than you had any imagine that it's gonna do, right? And you go from there, right? And you can change it and mend it and bend it and whatever. So, where did
Mhm.
your love for the whole cooking thing come from?
So cooking to me actually kind of started in motorsports, right? Going to the track with my dad, motocrossing, going to like NASCAR races and stuff. We'd always cook by a fire. And to me, some of the best meals I've ever had is that. And then, you know, I'm not Italian, but my great grandfather, he's from Italy, and they always talked about how well he cooked, and then my grandfather talked about it, and I was just around good food. And I've always been introduced to good food, and when I was living in South Florida, down in Coral Springs, um, a lot of my friends were, Latin, or, like Caribbean. I've been around them all, and really close. They're all family now, and they were always cooking, and we were always doing something. So it's just all those flavors and things, and I couldn't ever get something that that kind of said, "Hey, this is what Mario is." And so I started cooking on my, for myself, and it's art. Cooking's art. And it's just like writing. Writing's art. We all have our own style. We all have that thing. And to create something and have it, and then people actually enjoy it, was just something that it it causes something inside of you to kind of keep going for more, keep going for more. It's like when you're on track, right? And you get with that one buddy that you can just go back and forth with, and you get off, and doesn't matter if you're last place or first place, just to have that back and forth with someone made the entire weekend. Cooking does that too. It's that art that you create to see someone love it, and then it gets it's kind of like a drug, right? You get that little taste, now you want more. Now you want to do it again. Keep doing it again, right? And you just keep following it. And cooking, cooking ended up being my drug.
I love it, man. And I find myself now that, I've been cooking all these years. I go to a restaurant, I critique it. Like I'm sitting down, I'm like, I can make this shit better at home. Like, what are you kidding me right now? And I'm like, I taste this, I taste that, blah, blah, blah.
I can't go to barbecue restaurants now.
Yeah.
Like, if I go to a barbecue restaurant and it's not as good as mine, I absolutely get pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, I will. I was in San Antonio at a barbecue restaurant down there, and they gave me some pulled pork, and I tried it, and I threw it back, and I was just said, "This is horrible." And the owner's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, he's like, "Blah blah blah." I said, "Dude, that was some of the worst pork I've ever had." And he's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from the Carolinas." He's like, "Oh, okay, I ain't gonna mess with you then." He's like, "I ain't even gonna try you."
You know, you made a good point. It's funny when you find writing is like cooking, right? So you find what works best for you. You find you kind of own little niche into it, right? In your
Hmm.
own special um, certain food or meals or spices or whatever it is you use to create your own uh, meal. I should say, right? Same thing with
Hmm.
riding. Everybody brings their own unique riding style, their own thoughts, and the way they think about things. Somebody will give you advice, you're like, man, I never thought of it like that before. And then something clicks, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got your basics, right? I mean, you got your basics on how to do it, but you got to modify it to you, because we all got, like, for me, we got all different body types. From my torso up, I weigh more than most, some people. My buddy Ivan, I weigh like 3 times more than he does. He has to do more body work and get around than I do, because I can throw my weight around with it and really load the tire up better than what he can. But it's just like with cooking. I want those flavors to match what I want. And then I also, now that I've been cooking more to the masses, I also got to realize that what I want necessarily is not going to be what everybody else wants. So I have to think about the area. So like when I do barbecue competitions. So when I think about barbecue competitions, I have to think about, what is it that those judges may want, and what area are they from? So you got to be able to think about, okay, are they going to be more of a sweet smoky person, or are they going to want a little spice to it, or or are they going to want like a vinegar style sauce, or are they going to want like a very sweet molassesy tomato style sauce? No, so you got to be able to adapt and change as well, just like you do with riding, right? depending on what track, you got to be able to adapt and change to that track. Some tracks are real flowy and others are very technical and hard braking.
Yeah, you gotta read the crowd that you're cooking for. Yeah, absolutely. You made a good point on that. What got you doing, cook offs? You're like, hey, I just want to try a cook off because I know my shit's gonna smack and I'm gonna sell out. And people are gonna be like, dude.
So the guy that encouraged me to do barbecue competitions was Sam True of NC Bike, NC Car. We all call it NC Bike, but Sam True, the track manager for there, he came to me and he's like, Mario, you need to do this. He's like, I've ate barbecue. He goes, my son does some of these. He does this. And he's like, you need to go and try it. And he just kept, every time he saw me, Mario, when are you going to do a competition? When are you going to do a competition? He's like, I need you to do it. And luckily here in South Carolina, there's a local competition in Rock Hill. And that was my first endeavor into it. And looking at it, because you got different orgs for barbecue, just like you do with racing, right? You got your KCBS, which is kind of, and your Memphis Barbecue Network and all that, and then your states all have it. So South Carolina Barbecue had one where basically you go and you cook for the festival, and then they go and sell the meat and everything. But they have like a Friday competition that's called Anything But Butts. So you make certain different types of food. This time I made a smoked chorizo with cojita cheese and pico de gallo, and then I used Mission Foods chips for because they support the sport for Super Hooligans, so I had to support them. Use that, and I made kind of like a taco bowl type thing. A lot of people loved it. And then year before I did pork belly burn ends. Year before that, I did baked rigatoni and smoked it. Did different stuff, and
You're
then
making me hungry.
and then I think I smoked a total of 8 pork butts. And then you have the rib competition. So your pork butt competition judging took place at 10 o'clock, turn in box was at 10, and then ribs turn in box was at 11. And one of the crazy things about the key aspects about, barbecue competitions is your timing. And you got to be able to adapt because like this year, my temperature gauge on my smoker wasn't working that well. So I had to cook everything by feel from a fire management perspective and hoping I didn't overcook it or undercook it.
That's skill, brother, man. That's what it is. It's like feeling on the track, feeling with the tire, the information the tires are laying to you while you're on the track, right? And adapting to the circumstance. I do have a cooking question for you, but before we get into that, Brett Baker says you should get Joe Lamondre Senior and Junior on your show. You'll see the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I've had Bazooka Joe Junior on the show twice with some more coming up. You guys stay tuned. I would love to sit down with his dad. That's one of my most favorite things that I love to do is get the kid or the daughter on and then get the parent on too after that, because the parent tells a different story, the same but different story than what the child tells, right? So to speak. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a full circle conversation. That's really what completes their whole journey up until where they're at right now as we're speaking, right? Um, in the parts that they play. So yeah, I would love to sit down with Senior for sure. Bazooka Senior, right? Absolutely. So all right, let's go. Jennifer, I 100% agree. Mario's brisket is better than Texas brisket. I said what I said, and that's a fact.
I appreciate that.
I love it. I mean, I've been to Austin 8 years in a row. I was supposed to go this year, but after my surgery, I couldn't fly. Yada yada. And of course, you're in
Mhm.
Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas, and I love Austin. It's great. The Sixth Street downtown's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend if you go to the MotoGP race, you have to go downtown Sixth Street, Austin. Of course, you're there. You got to try the barbecue, right? It was
Yeah,
decent. I'm not gonna say it was the best I ever had, but yeah, it was good. The best I've ever had to this day right now is Mario. So yeah, thumbs
appreciate
up.
that. Yeah, Texas does brisket pretty well. I'll give it
They're
up
just
on that.
different.
It's the way they approach things, and I mean, if you go to California, they do more like they're known for tri-tips out there, and then like you got Memphis, which is known for ribs. But even and I'm going to use North Carolina for North Carolina, South Carolina. Like a lot of people think South Carolina is mustard sauce, mustard sauce. South Carolina is actually a very vinegar sauce. They're more about a mop sauce whole hog, and stuff like that. I mean, Rodney Scott, that's where he's making all his nut stuff from, you know. And then you got Eastern Carolina, Eastern North Carolina straight vinegar. You got Lexington, which is Lexington's going to have that little bit of tomato sauce, and then you got the mountains, which is going to be like a smoky style sauce, And then South Carolina does have the mustard, but that's more on the Piedmont side of everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a barbecue tangent there.
Dude, I love it, man. No, do it, man. I freaking love it, man. That's what I love about the podcast, man. It's real, it's raw, it's uncut. Take it where you want to. I love it. Um, Ron said I got busted on Sixth Street. LOL. I'm sure it wasn't hard to do. I had a great time. Actually, I got a photo right here on my wall. I have to take it down one day and show you guys. So me and my brother and his wife showed up. He was there for a he was there for a work at this business place, right? For this meetings and shit he had to go do. So he hits me up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm in Austin." I went downtown. We're sitting at the bar, and I look over to the corner. I noticed this dude kept staring at us, and he's like, got this piece of paper out. And I was like, I wonder what this guy's doing, right? He comes up and he gives me this picture. He's like, "Here, I draw people, blah, 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 blah." I was like, "Well, what I owe you for?" He's like, "Nothing." I was like, "Nah." So I bought him a beer. It ended up being a great conversation. Again, nobody's strangers. We're just friends that haven't met yet, right? He gave it to me, man. I got it home. Yeah, it's right on my wall. It's awesome. Austin is a magical place. It has its own unique feel and vibe to it. It's a real high energy vibe. You step right outside of Austin, it's not so nice or so good, right? But the city of Austin, the MotoGP track, the food. Me and my homeboy, we usually go get on the little taco trucks. You see a
Oh
little taco
yeah,
truck parked up, people.
oh
That's where you want to
yeah.
go. Don't go to a restaurant. Go to the little taco trucks. Trust me. Who cares? They don't speak English. It'll be the best food you ever.
And some of
Listen,
the best food I've ever had in my
bro.
life was I used to work I used to work security down in Miami and at the Orange Bowl back before and when University of Miami was playing at the Orange Bowl. And we used to have to park down at a school, so we had to walk through a neighborhood to get to our cars. You know, I had some of the best food of my life walking down that street and just stopping at the family barbecues and going from, dropping $5 for a plate and going from the different families and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, that's how you eat right there.
That's exactly how you eat, right? It's not expensive, and yeah, I will say I forget I can never remember the name of this restaurant. I need to hit Jason up. We went to it was unlike any Mexican restaurant I've ever been to. The salsa was warm, it wasn't cold. They didn't serve no alcoholic drinks, but the chiladas, which they made
Hmm.
homemade, their own sauce and all that. And of course, I'm in Texas, I gotta have a chilada, right? But that salsa was some of the to this day the best. Like I don't know what they put in it. I have no idea. Crack cocaine. It was
You may
absolutely
not want to know.
bro. Like I was drinking this shit, and they're looking at me like, "Look at this gringo right here," and I'm like, I got it running all down my face. I'm like, "Can I please have a refill?" They're like, "This dude right here's loco." Uh, but yeah, it was the best Mexican joint I've ever been in to this day, hands down.
Mhm.
And I love Mexican food. I'm a food lover. I like, of course, I like hot and spicy. So I'm a spicy connoisseur guy.
Yeah, I'm a spicy guy too. Matter of fact, Fort Mill, which is just a town north of me, is where they do the Carolina Reapers and now Scorpion X. At Pucker Butt Pepper Company.
Yeah.
I love some of their stuff. I actually got to taste the Scorpion X hot sauce before it even came out.
Nice.
Actually like a year before it came out.
Nice. I love it. I
Yeah.
so I like super hot stuff like that too. I find myself I got to be in like a certain type of mood where I'm like, you know what? I want to suffer, but
You got to prepare yourself.
you got to, right? But when people look at me, they're like, "Dude, you're fucking nuts," right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Listen, it's hot, okay? And yes, I suffer, and yeah, I pay the consequence, but it's like racing or doing the TT or it's like skydiving. It's a risk that I know I'm doing. I know what's going to happen, but I'm willing
Mhm.
to accept it for the euphoric feeling it gives you. It's hard to explain to
Yeah,
people
the
when you
endorphin
don't
rush
get it.
that you
Oh my
get from
god,
it.
it's
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah, I mean they the endorphins that you get from it. I mean that's what I get from, cooking food and hearing that people love my food, right? Hearing that the conversations that, people are having and everything. That I get an endorphin rush from that. I had someone at CNP where they were wondering like, how can you get off of the track and then go and cook? and it's just because I love doing it. I mean, yeah, like there's once I'm done, I'm like, damn, I need to sit down. But while I'm doing it, I just absolutely love it.
I'm with you. I'm texting my wife. Will you bring me a dish towel, please? My freaking ice bag right here is leaking water all over my feet. And I got my surge protector down here. So yeah, so Alessandro DeMario, which I ain't forgot, he wants to do a one chip challenge with me. So
Uh,
one race weekend, I'm gonna show up with one chip and me and him gonna on video. We're gonna bang it out. The hottest thing that I've ever done, and I say it to this day, was you know, some of my close friends are always trying to burn me up. They're like, dude, I bought you this shit. I'm like, fuck, okay. Sometimes it's kind of tiresome, right? Because they're always trying
mm,
to, I got years of hot sauce. Anyway, he's like, I got some. It's gonna just destroy you. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. It was the death nuts, dude. There were 13 million Scovilles. You had to eat 7
yes,
of
I
them.
did those too.
Bro,
Oh, good
dude,
God.
man, hey, it was like I've never felt as high in my life. It's like all of a sudden I got to a point where I just went totally numb,
Hmm.
and then I was like this so super high, but it messed up my taste buds for over 2 weeks. Like I couldn't hardly
Yeah.
taste anything. Um, of course, you using the
Y-
bathroom was rough for the
You
first.
literally feel it like moving through your intestines. It was not cool.
Dude, I got to the point where I was literally crying, and I told my wife because I watched the hot ones on YouTube, right? So I get the
Mhm.
last dab, and
Yeah.
it's good. It's hot, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good hot, but it's got flavor, right? So I'm sitting on the toilet with this big spoon, and I'm just putting the last dab on it, just eating spoonfuls of it, trying to like burn me up here to take my mind away from what's happening down south, which was not very pleasant. So
Yeah.
never
No,
used
that
ice cream
that that
sandwiches
nut
in that
cha
way before,
that nut challenge was by far the hottest, and
bro.
what made it worse was the fact that it was a progressive, and it was like you got through the first couple, and you're like, "Yeah, no big deal." But when you finally got to that last one, and then having everything built up, and it's still there because you had to, like, wait a minute, in between and not touch anything, yeah, I was like, "Oh, this is bad."
Bro, I had the worst case of hiccups I ever had in my life. I never had hiccups like that before. Like it was, dude. What it felt like to me, Mario, it felt like somebody pulled, like you pulled my tongue out, you stabbed it with an ice pick, rubbed Vaseline, poured gasoline, and set it on fire, and let it go in my mouth, and it twirled around and went straight down, and it was just like, whoa. And
Yeah.
it got hotter. How the fuck does it get hotter than that, right? Like I was like, oh shit,
I remember getting through the challenge, and I had been told, you can drink milk, but I've also told drink citrus stuff, right? So I was drinking like, orange juice or whatever, and I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Half hour later, I was just sitting there. I'm just like, holy shit, everything just got super hot. My face got flushed, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I want to go throw up.
right? Yeah, I don't recommend that one to anybody. If you feel you got the balls to do it, by all means, boo boo. You do you. I've been there, done
Yeah,
that.
not
Ain't
doing
doing
it
it
again.
again. No, absolutely
No.
not. Got the hat and the t-shirt.
Yep,
You can keep it. Don't want no
absolutely.
part of it. But I do like heat. I don't like it when heat. It's just like everybody when it overpowers the food. That's why I do like sriracha, but I don't ever
Mhm.
buy it or use it because it overpowers every fucking thing you put on it. Right?
N-
In certain instances, but for most things you put sriracha on it, it tastes like fucking sriracha. Um,
Yeah, and that's my problem with a lot of people that were like, oh, I want to burn you out on blah blah. It's got to have some type of flavor to it. If it doesn't have flavor to it, it ain't worth doing. If you're just going for intense heat, man, just get some pepper spray and spray in your mouth.
Facts, right? So, uh, Russ says your butthole is still burning. Long half life on that shit. Listen, it's again, I wouldn't do it again, but it was worth it. So as far as like me going to a physical restaurant, Mario, the hottest I ever eaten, and I love Indian food, right? So I had the balls. I felt in the seat. I'm like, I just want to destroy me for some reason, right? It's like I guess it's to the point where people like run marathons and they just want to destroy themselves, kind of like that same mindset.
Hmm.
Um, so I go to the Indian restaurant and I do it every Mexican restaurant I go to. I'm like, yeah, let me get the hottest sauce you
Let
guys
me
got.
get the habanero. Yeah.
Bro, they bring me this bottle and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, get this shit out of here. I want the shit you guys
Hmm.
making it back for y'all. Like, that's what I want. I want the super spicy. So the Indian guys looks at me, he says, are you serious? I was like, yeah, bro, I got this, dude. I eat a lot of hot shit. My parents are like, yeah, no problem. So he walks back, and the two waitresses, I guess he tells them, they're all looking at me and they're just kind of snickering and laughing, right? And I was like, I got this. Bro, he brings my plate. I'm 6 bites into it. And all of a sudden I was like, something is seriously wrong here. This is fucking insane hot. Like it hurt so bad. I was crying and I wanted to tap out, but I wanted to clean my plate just to prove a point that I showed up, I conquered, and I kicked your fucking ass, right? Did I hurt? Hurt. Bro, it hurt so bad it wasn't even fun to eat. You know, that type. Um,
It's funny you say you did that at Indian restaurant because I went to India and I was over in Chennai for a month, and my friends over there they knew I loved hot food, so they would tell the chef, hey, give it to him like we normally do. And I was sitting there eating, no problem. They're eating the hottest thing that they did, and one of the guys that
oh, will you get it for me, babe, please?
from Chennai, he's sweating and he's
Goodbye.
like, I can't take this. He's like, I can't take this. This is too hot for me. And I was just sitting there eating it casually. And he's like, they actually looked at me. The chef came out, looked at me, and goes, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You're like, this shit is good. But yeah, dude, that Indian restaurant, bro. I don't know what it was they gave me, but that shit was like it had to have been an extract of some kind. It wasn't
Yeah,
like a normal.
probably the hottest I've ever had is Thai food. Like
Oh,
if I
dude, I
you get
love Thai
you
food.
get if you get a Thai hot though, that's a different level of hot.
It is. So speaking of that, my mom's he's my uncle. I always get the whole family tree, blah blah.
Mhm,
Anyway, my uncle, he goes to Thailand, he meets this girl, he brings her back, they end up getting married, blah blah blah. So this was when I was going from no spice to getting into it super fucking heavy. So here she comes. I like Thai food, but she made me some homemade Thai food, and I was like, "This is the best shit I've ever ate." I love Thai food, right?
mhm.
So she kept stepping up the spice, and yeah, you're right. I went to a Thai restaurant. It used to be called Red Jasmine down here. She ended up closing down, and she's straight from Thai, and it was on that level to where I was hurting, crying, like the pain was real. It was
Yeah,
good, but Thai
yeah.
food's got that unique. It's like Indian food. It's got this unique spices to it that just man, it's so good, right?
Yeah.
And it's so hot, but
It's like I guess what they call is that umami flavor, right? Or it's just that whole mouth experience.
it's like an orgasm in your mouth. It really is, man. It's like this is the best shit I ever had in my life. Are you kidding me right now? I didn't know shit could even taste as good. You know, my taste buds are doing shit I never felt before. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tell people with barbecue. I said when I put my meat in your mouth, you're going to swallow.
Every time, baby. Every time. I love it, dude. Oh my god. Uh let's see. Jason Bartlett, what is up, my man? Jason is in the house, bro. He says St. Louis style barbecue.
Absolutely.
It's good, man. It really is. Jason Doss, what is up, Jason, my man? I can't wait to see you at VIR because I know you're coming soon and I'll be there. He says, what's up? Let's see the hand, man. How is it? It's I can't really twist it, but it's you can't really tell on camera, but it's swollen like hell. It hurts. I've been trying to bend it. That's as far as I can bend it up. I can't bend it no further than that right now. It sucks, man. My first wrist surgery I had went nowhere near like this on the same wrist. I just had these two little incisions. This one was like a massive ordeal. So I can't weed eat or mow or anything for 4 months. They tell me I can't ride a bike for I don't care what they say. As soon as I get my movement back in, um, I'm
Yeah,
gonna take
just
it slow, of course, right?
yeah. You
But
don't want to do
I'll
more
build it
damage,
back up.
but
No, yeah, I'm getting on. Like as soon as I got home, I jumped on my little electric scooter I bought to go to the races with. And I'm
yeah.
burning around the neighborhood. And Nikki's like, my wife's like, bah, 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 bah. And it sounded like Charlie Brown, wah, wah, wah,
Womp,
wah,
womp,
wah,
womp.
wah, wah, wah. And I'm just smiles for
So,
miles, baby. I'm back. Let's go. Yeah. So hey, it's two wheels, right? I'm standing up. It's still
absolutely,
two. So
absolutely.
but yeah, man, listen, I love food, man. I can't wait to I would love to what state are you in again, Mario?
So I'm in South Carolina. I'm just south of Charlotte,
All right, dude. I would
North
love
Carolina.
to, dude, plan a trip, man. I come down there and spend the weekend, man. Man, you just grill it up, cook it up for the weekend, hang out, and yeah, have a good time, man. I know I would really enjoy that because I love to cook, man. And I love cooking with I got a good buddy down the street, my son's best friend. Me and him get together and our wives are the same. It's similar where they're plain Jane shit. Me and him are like, dude, we gotta have this and this and this and this. So we end up when we cook, we make usually three different meals just for me and him, and for the wife, and plain Jane chicken nuggets and freaking macaroni and cheese for the kids, right?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I enjoy it, man, because we get in there and we just come up with like crazy ideas. Hey, let's try this and this. Let's
Yep.
do it, right? Like, dude, I seen this recipe and I want to do it and I ain't done it yet. Is peanut butter and jelly hot wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you done that?
I haven't done them because I'm not a fan of those flavors, to be honest with you. So I know I wouldn't necessarily like it, but I have had friends that have done them, have done something similar as well. So, matter of fact, I was on one of the competition sites and someone was talking about doing apple and peanut butter, apple jelly and peanut butter, and I was like, well, okay.
I mean, that's the beauty of cooking. You never know, right?
Yeah,
Until you do it.
there there's a lot of things that are out there that I think are that people can do, and like I was saying earlier, everyone's got their own palate, right? I mean, I know one of the big chefs here in the Charlotte area and Rock Hill area. He he does a cotton candy. He does cotton candy, wraps it around shrimp. And it's like a what is it? Thai chili shrimp, and then does like a cotton candy around it. I absolutely think it's horrible, but people love the hell out of it. But I'm just like, no, you got too much going on. The textures don't make sense to me. It's just like, no, it's just no. But they some people they hear that and they're like, oh, I gotta try that. That's so interesting. Oh, or they're like, or they claim to be a foodie, and so it's like basically you just tell them you just want to try as much weird shit as possible.
Andrew and Bourdain Jr., right? Like that's what he
Hmm.
did. Yeah, some of that shit, like I'm down for trying shit out, but some shit I'm like, I ain't touching that. There ain't no
Yeah,
fucking way. Car Trip says, shout out to Mario for always, and I mean always skimming some off the top and sending it to the side for me to make sure I get something to eat.
absolutely. Yeah,
Love it.
Trev's one of those people like he's going to make sure everybody else eats, and he is. Best way to describe Trev is, he's one of the riders right there too. Best way to describe Trev is, and he actually described himself this way at VIR on Monday, is he's one of the nicest assholes you'll ever meet,
I love it.
and it's absolutely true. He is also one of the most humblest people out there too. He doesn't realize how fast he is. He just goes out there and has fun, and the more fun he has, the faster he goes, and that's the way all of us should approach it. Like if you're having fun, you don't realize how much faster you're going because you're more relaxed. And it's just out there because I know when I try to go fast, I go slow. I mean, I'm slow anyway, but still, when I'm out there not thinking about it and it's just like I got Manziel out there like pushing me or something, next thing I know, we're both going fast.
Yeah, that's I say it all the time. If you a happy rider's a fast rider, no matter where you're at in the world, no matter what you're riding. It could be a Grom. It don't matter. If
It
you're
doesn't
having
matter.
fun, you're smiling, dude, you're fast, right? You're out there and you try to push it. It's just like, people none of us will ever forget the first time we get our knee down, right? It's like something that we kind of achieved to our goal. I gotta get my knee
Mhm.
down. I gotta get my knee down, right? Once you do it, you find that the more you try to do it, you're less likely to do it. You go out there, you have fun, you don't even focus about it, think about it. Next thing you know, you're dragging them every freaking way you can drag them at, right? It's like nothing. Um, yeah, same kind of thing. When it comes to approaching motorcycle riding in general, just have fun. That's why you do it. That's why we're here.
Exactly. I think, sometimes us as racers and track day riders, we can get fixated on what's the lap time that we need to run. And I'm not saying lap times are a bad idea. I think you do need to have a goal and sometimes do kind of like check to see where you're at. But there's times where you just need to go ride. You especially like once you get out of that beginner phase and a lot of things kind of come naturally and you know the basics, you know how to do stuff, just go ride and enjoy yourself. Work on some stuff in the morning and then the afternoon, just do something to go ride. Because there's been too many times where I've had conversations and I myself have had this where you're so focused on trying to do something and meeting a certain goal that if you don't meet it, it ruins your day and you forget to have fun. And I've had too many people in the sport, tell me, and it's true in life, to be honest with you. If you're not having fun at it, why are you doing it? And riding's not a job for any of us, right?
Mhm.
None of us are making money. There's very few people that are making money at it. And those that are making, it's great that you're doing it, but that's an extra pressure that I know I don't want. And I know I just like going out and having fun. And if you're having fun doing it, you're going to do it better.
100% facts, man. Again, you said you're more relaxed. You're breathing naturally instead of trying to force the issue, right? So to speak. So yeah, man, riding is it's a beautiful thing. We do it to get away from day-to-day stress.
Hmm.
I still ride on the street some. I don't do it nowhere near as much as I used to, but yeah, there's times I'm like, of course, I can't just throw my bike and ride it to VR and just jump on the track anytime you want, but it gives me something I can just whatever, if it's 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever, I get that wind in my face and the smell and just the rush it gives you. It's a way to free your mind and come back to connect to you as a person. And I'm a firm believer in too is like what you said. It's good to throughout the day just get away, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. Shut everything, put the phone down, focus on you, be happy
Hmm.
with you. It'll make you better mentally right here because
I,
that's what racing is. That's what life is.
I have people at work ask me all the time, because I use like this type, this is my background and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, is that you riding or something like that? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, "Yo, what makes you want to do it?" And I said, for all of us that have like ADD, ADHD, and have stress and everything else, when you put that helmet on and you're on those two wheels, that is the most present you'll ever be because you're not worried about what the government's doing, what way we're getting screwed this, that way. You're not worried about the stress at work. You're not worrying about what's going on. You have to be fully present on that motorcycle or you die. It's that simple. And it's the most present and it's the slowest the world will go for you. Even though we're going 100 plus miles an hour, the world slows down, especially if you have your eyes up. You got your eyes up, everything slows down. But that's the truth. Like to me, you put the helmet on, you start going, the world slows down, the world turns off, and the only thing that matters is right now, right then and now. That's the only thing that's mattering. And the next thing in front of you is that next corner. And that's it.
You're
That's it.
living in the moment. That's what I
Exactly.
love, man. I tell everybody, that's something else I even tell at work people every day. I'm like, man, just stop what you're doing, even if it's 30 seconds, and live in the moment, man. You'll never slow down time. You can't stop it. You can't rewind it. So enjoy yourself, right? Like laugh and smile, right? Like it's you got to be able to look in the mirror and make fun of yourself and laugh at
Hmm.
yourself and then turn around to face this cruel world because it's very uptight and cruel. So um I find the more that I let go of the shit that I can't control, which is very hard for us to do, especially with ADHD, because I get so hyper focused on shit sometimes that I
Yep.
can't fucking control. It drives me fucking bananas, right? But if I step back and I'm just like, look, I cannot control this. I just need to let it go and focus on shit I can control. Then it goes out of my mind. I don't even worry about it. I'm back to being
Exactly.
happy again. So there's a lot to be said in that. It's and some people probably listen to this going, yeah, okay, some guy he's saying it, but it's easier said than done. And you're right. I work on it every day. It's not something that I got down pat. Shit, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I work on myself every fucking day, and that's a fact.
We have
You
to.
know,
We have to.
so
I mean, you can. So, some of us come from the age where we're all used to seeing people brush it under the rug, but why? It's all going to fester back up, and you're going to have to deal with it. Fuck it, deal with it now. Get
deal
it
with
out
it.
of the fucking way, and keep moving.
Facts, man. I agree with that. Look, dude, we've been on this for an hour and 15 minutes almost already, dude. Time just flies. I love it, man. I love it. So, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna transition into the next part of the podcast where I get to pick your brain on the personal level. No worries, people, because me and Mario are absolutely gonna sit down back down together. We're actually gonna schedule part two after this podcast ends. So, because we still got a lot to talk about. Um, but let me ask you this, bro. What do you do for a day job?
So I kind of do. It's kind of like project management. I work in banking. Currently, what I'm doing is oversight um, for automate and doing automation and tooling. So kind of like project management, being subject matter expert, doing stuff like that. Um, I think I've been in banking. Shit, I've been in banking for damn near over 20 years now. So
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Do you have any pets? Are you a pet guy? Dogs, cats, rats, bats,
I love all
snakes?
animals just about. I do not currently have any pets. I had three chows. When the last one passed away, it was just it really hit home, and just haven't been able to kind of do that. So when I'm at the track, I use everybody else's dogs and or cats or whatever that they have as my pet. So
I love it, man. I'm a big animal lover. I feel you on that. I had to put one of my dogs down cruise. That's been shit going on a year ago. I actually got this Snoopy tattoo right here. Riding a skateboard, a big heart on it for cruise. And I'm always been a dog person, so of course I'm gonna get another dog. But you don't know you're ready until you're kind of ready, right? When the time comes.
yeah,
And then I ended up adopting Fiona, and she's been an absolute yeah, joy for sure. So
I'm a big proponent of sometimes you just gotta let shit happen naturally, right? And
facts.
don't necessarily push it, or go out and search for it. Sometimes you do, but like I said, I see like Dwayne out there. Shout out to Dwayne, with Carew, and then we got Jen with SDF, and then don't forget about Dingo too, Jen.
Yeah. Dingo. I love it, man. Royce Davis. What's up, people? You, Royce, you, buddy. Yeah, I think animals, man, bring a certain type of joy to everybody's lives. They're especially dogs. They love you unconditionally. They're super happy to see you every day. They always want your love and attention, and no matter what you're going through, they just make you feel a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So yeah, dude, I'm on that. So Mario, let me ask you this, man. What are your goals in racing as far as racing goes?
As far as racing goes, have fun. I I am too old and I am too fat and I am too slow to know I'm not going to be a Moto America racer. Like I'm not going to be your top 1% racers. I'm not going to be, AJ or Trev or, any of these guys, right? These guys are fast. I love them for it. My goal in racing is purely to do better each time I go out. You know, give myself that little bit of competition that you miss in a track day. What I found when I'm doing just a track day is I get really comfortable and I don't progress because I am so comfortable. Or you're not as comfortable around certain people, at the track day. You got 40, 50 people on track, however many it is. And there's days where you don't want to push it and you're just out there, you know, honing your skills a little bit. When you're racing, you can kind of forget about, oh, if I blew that apex, who cares, right? And you can kind of see, how do you push yourself? How do you adapt to the moment? How do you handle the adrenaline? How do you handle the pressure? And I like challenging myself that way. So for racing, for me, it's about having fun and how do I progress each time I go out. Like this year, concentrating on doing some of the endurance team challenge stuff, and then doing like the GTOs, really pushing myself because usually 7 laps, I can help 5 laps on my cake, and if they offer to bring it down from 7 to 5 laps, I'm the first person going, hey, let's do it, guys. My fat ass is over here huffing and puffing, but now I'm pushing myself to that next level. Like how long can I go? How can I do this? Can I stay consistent? For me, it's all about those incremental wins.
It's progression on the track, but also self progression outside the track too as well. That's something I tell people too. It's like you give your all at the track, but you don't realize the impact it plays on you outside the track too as well. Even though
Mhm.
you're in that moment, so you don't see it, but the people around you see it.
Yeah,
Which is it's a great thing. Jennifer says Dingo looks forward to them tomahawk bones. You're his best friend. Ha ha. I bet
yeah.
he is, right? Yeah. Who wouldn't be? That's awesome. Speaking of that, man, what's for dinner tonight, bro?
I don't know what I'm doing for dinner tonight. I've been talking to you for you so long, I haven't even thought about it.
I ain't gonna lie. I came home and had some leftover Chinese food. You know, people hear me say I don't eat Chinese food, and this is the first time you can. I bring my wife here; she'll tell you I eat Chinese food and shit 5 years. I was starving. I was like, I
Mm,
don't feel like cooking. My wife loves Chinese food. I didn't feel like going down to the Thai restaurant, so I was like, I'll get some beef fried rice. Of course, I come home and doctor it up. I soy sauce, low sodium, but my mom bought this stuff from Italy. It's like the best way I can describe it is like avocado oil, crushed red peppers, a little bit of tomatoes. So
mm.
it's like a caprese kind of maybe. Man, it's really good. So I took that out. It's got some kick to it, added it to the rice, and that's what I ate real quick before I
Yeah.
sat down. Because if not, I'd be like, "Brr."
This weekend, I'll probably end up going and doing probably either doing like a low country boil type thing. I think is what I'm going to end up doing this weekend. Um, go get some butterfish and sear that up as well. I like so when I'm not doing barbecue, I love trying to do different types of seafoods and stuff
I
like
love
that.
seafood.
Um, so and I got a really good, I mean, we're 2.5 hours from the coast, 3 hours from the coast. So, I got a fishmonger that literally I get Dabo shrimp from and stuff like that. So
I
I'm more
love
than
it.
likely to be doing some type of seafood this weekend.
I love it. My favorite fish is mahi mahi, man. And Chilean sea bass. I freaking um I'm a big seafood guy. The problem is my wife don't eat anything but shrimp, and I'm like, crab don't taste too far from shrimp. Neither does lobster. Yes, it has a little distinct taste to it, but it's texture wise, it's the same fucking shit. My son he eats shrimp and he loves mahi mahi, but other than that, like when I go, I'm like, dude, I want this, I want this, I want this. I come home, I make this again. When I cook, it's usually three different meals: one for me, one for my
Hmm.
wife, and one for my son. So yeah, I'm a big seafood guy. If I could only pick probably one food to eat for the rest of my life, it'd be a hard choice between Thai, Indian, and seafood for me. It really would.
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be hot. See, I really love like the Mediterranean style food, so and it has a lot of fish with the Italian influence or the Greek influence or however you want to do it with that. So I love all that type of stuff. I just love fresh food. I mean, Chinese food, yeah, I can live with it or live without it, but definitely always kind of go towards that Italian Mediterranean style.
yeah, dude, I love Greek, man. I love the fresh ingredients. I love, dude. So me and you, we're definitely gonna plan this. We're gonna get up and cook, go to the grocery store and hang out, dude. Yeah, that's me and you all the way for sure. Let me ask you this then: Are you a coffee drinker, bro?
No, I am not. I am actually a tea drinker, and I'm a little bit of a tea snob. So, like for
Okay.
me, I like my preferable, like
Are
I
you
like
sure you're
doing
not
like
from the UK?
I'm sure. No, what got me turned on to tea was when I was living in South Florida. I was hanging out with a bunch of Jamaicans, and that's what they were drinking. They got me turned into on green tea, and then I got into where I was doing like gunpowder tea, Dragon Well, and some different like Misty Mountains and some Clouds and Empires and Mist, and doing some different flavors of that. So I've gotten it. I just stick with the tea.
So, what's your go-to tea at the grocery store you can recommend to people?
I don't go to the grocery store for tea for tea.
Well, where do you go for tea then? What do you
I
recommend to
actually
people?
right now I'm ordering online from Oliver and Puff out of Charleston, and they do like some different colonial things. They got this Hyson that I really like, and their gunpowder.
I love it, man. I like tea too. I remember when I went to the UK, of course. I like coffee because we're coffee drinkers in America, right?
Now, when I was in Spain, I was drinking coffee, and when I go to Costa Rica, I drink coffee.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, my buddy, he dated a Dominican woman. He kept raving about her coffee and she made me one. I was like, oh my God, this is the best shit ever. Yeah, and then one of my good buddies, his wife went to Qatar and brought home, I forget, dude, I'm so bad with names. I couldn't even pronounce it or say it, but she was like, "Here, I'm gonna give this to you. It's not really my thing. It's take it home and try it." And I was like, "Oh my God, this shit is really good." My wife's like, "Yeah, it's okay. It needs creamer." I was like, "It don't need no creamer, girl. Come on
no.
now." Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
I don't drink it with cream or sugar or anything. I know I'm a little
Nah.
bit probably a psycho that way, but
No, well, I'm me when it comes to as far as man, I try to stay with like as much fucking processed sugar as I can, but I am a
Mhm.
nerd and I am a fiend for Sour Patch Kids. So if you have Sour Patch Kids, you can bring them out me at the track. I'm going to ask for some. Just a forewarning, heads up. Only give me a couple because I keep coming back, tapping on the shoulder, going, "Can I please get a couple more of those Sour Patch Kids right there, please?" Right? But I find myself that when I want to add like I guess as natural sugars I can get to some, I use honey, all natural, straight up raw honey, man. Just put a little dab or two into it, even coffee or tea or whatever. It's a natural sweetener, right? It's good for you. So
Mhm.
yeah, man, let's go. So let me ask you this, Mario. Tell us something we don't know about you at all.
Um, Man, I kind of feel like I'm kind of an open book. Most people know everything about me. Um, Probably, it's funny. I think one of the big things, and I think this is something that I've found really interesting, is at one point in time, I used to be I used to be a drummer. And I think like I know like Jeff's a drummer. I know, other people. I know like, Derek Stotts, he plays the keys, and there's so many guitarists, there's so many musicians, and I find it how funny how it kind of correlates with all of that. But I still stay in contact with, a lot of my marching band friends and stuff like that. So I was a little bit of a marching band nerd when I was in school, and uh, matter of fact, my adopted brother who's passed away used to march center snare for and drum corps and used to teach and everything else. So that's probably something so a lot of people don't know about me.
I love it, man. I love it. We got a musician in the house, and next time we come to Atlanta, bro, you have a karaoke machine so we can hit it up.
No, I know we've talked. I know Danny, who was on the chat earlier. I know he's talked about needing to get in like a jam session at one of the track days one day.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I can't sing with a shit. I'm a shower singer, right? Like I make it on American Idol in the shower. Outside
Bo-
of there, I'm like, nah.
Russ, Boston Crusaders.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go. Russ says, what corp?
Yeah, it was Boston Crusaders
Yeah.
during the year that they played Red.
Cartref says, bro, the time you did Seafood Bowl. Oh my God. Yeah, I need to Seafood Bowl is one of my favorites, man. How can
Yeah,
you go
so
wrong?
I did 2 seafood boils, I believe. I did one well, both of them were at C&P since it's closer to the house. I did one with crab legs in it, and the other I did with, just and the shrimp and stuff as well. And then we have a little bit different style. A lot of people what they do is they add all the seasoning after they boil it, and I don't do that. I put it into the water and get type of like a brine style thing going, and then I re-season it afterwards as well.
I love it, man. I love it. What's your worst habit, bro?
Being fat.
Come on, man. Don't be so hard on yourself, Mario. He said being fat. Come on, man. I don't accept that answer. What's your worst habit, homie?
Oh, man, I got so many bad habits, dude. It's like which one do you want to pick from?
We all do. So one of my bad habits was I quit vaping. Um,
Mm,
quit smoking cigarettes when my son was 6 months. Started vaping, quit, went back to vaping. That and I used to bite the shit out of my fingernails. I stopped doing that too as well. Um, I went down a path there for a little while where I started to be an alcoholic. Like I was drinking all the fucking time. Me
mhm.
and Jeff Servin had this conversation, and that actually helped me out a lot mentally. Having that conversation live on air, like I'm a true human being. I tell everybody my feelings and how
Yeah,
I feel. That's how I progress and help myself, right? And I meant what I said on there. I was going down a dark path. Since then, I've really cut back on drinking. So that's probably all time worst habit is and you don't realize the effect it has on you or how often you're drinking it until you get around somebody that really drinks all the fucking time and you're like, holy shit, dude, you got a fucking problem. Like I ain't got a problem, but you do have a problem because you're on that same path. You're just not at that next level on Donkey Kong yet, right? Like,
yeah. This will
so
now that you're saying that, I mean, this will probably sound kind of crazy, but if I had to say I had one of my worst habits is probably not focusing on myself. I end up spending a lot of time focusing on others, and then when I do fail at something or whatever, then I just leave it be. Like I fail. It's like you're supposed to get up, try again. Yeah, I do that in a competitive sense, but then there's a lot of things where I'll go down a hole and just be like, okay, fuck it. It's just like why bother? I learned from it. It don't bother me whether I have it or don't. But like I'll end up focusing on other people more so than myself.
Yeah, I tend to do that too sometimes. It's just I want to, man, I want everybody to feel the same good vibes and energy I have.
Mhm,
That's why I do
exactly.
it. It's like I want you to be hip to the game too, right? Like we're here, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time.
Yeah, I
So
mean, like me, I know if a hit happens to me, I know I can handle it, right? Like I've drove myself through a gutter, I've come back, I know I'm good. But seeing it happen to someone else or someone that, I care for, no, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that they're smiling sometime. And if that saves their life that day, hey, I did my job. But for me, that's probably one of the big things that I probably do.
yeah, yeah, I love it, man. Everybody knows that, I listen to a shit ton of audiobooks. Is that something you do too as well? I know before we had this, she was like, man, fuck right now. Except for shop manuals, of course, that don't count. We do that
Yeah,
on
I
a
mean,
motorcycle.
cookbook stuff like that.
Well, that don't count neither, Mario. That's something we do, right? Cookbooks, man. Come on. I don't even like I used to go to Barnes and Nobles and buy the $10 cookbooks on sale. Now
mhm.
I just Google the shit online and it's there, it's free. So
I used to read a long time ago, but I don't care for it anymore. I know everyone gets into the self-help. That's just bullshit. Let me have a conversation with you. Like if I want, I have enough voices in my head. I can have that conversation all day long. And I'm a slow reader because I have to really focus on it, or
yeah.
else I'm like squirrel. What's going on?
Me
And
too.
it's just like, so like the audiobooks, they just make me fall asleep.
I gotcha.
So
Not me. I like the audiobooks, man, but I'm like you. It's if it's the only thing I really find myself hyper focused on is racing and sitting down having these conversations and of course
mhm.
doing the whole social media podcast, reaching out to people, yada yada yada. Other than that, it's if I'm not really into it, I'm just like, what'd you just say? They're like, bro, I just fucking told you like 3 times straight to your face. It's like this deer in headlights. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I don't mean to do it. I'm just not uh let's just talk about two wheels, people. That's what I say all the time, man. Forget
Yeah.
that. Let's just talk about two wheels. What are you talking about? So yeah, man. I love it, dude. But yeah, so I listen to audiobooks. I don't fall asleep. To me, it's like a podcast. I go on this adventure with the people telling the story, right? And I can pause it and pick it right back up. So
It's gotta be really good for me to do it though, it's gotta be a really good book. I think the last book that I really read that I truly, truly enjoyed was probably something from Dan Brown.
I got you. One book that I recommend to everybody is John Hopkins Leather, dude. Is absolutely it's amazing. Another book that I recommend to people if you like I guess it would be part of self-improvement is dude, Danny Etzler, he has a book where he has David Goggins come over and live with him for a month, bro. And it's like
Mhm.
this dude, and even David Goggins' book's really good because it keeps you so enticed because they'll do a chapter and then David Goggins will come on and the guy that's telling his story and David Goggins will break down that chapter, right? So it just keeps you interested in the loop. So but yeah, there's some audiobooks I really look forward to listen to, and I'll start listening to it. I'm like, man, this fucking blows ass. I just spent 2.5 hours of my life. I'll never fucking get back, right? But
Mhm.
it's part
Yeah.
of the chance you take when you do it. Um, so let me ask you this, man. As far as TV series go, I just got done binge watching Ozark. Buddy of mine kept telling me about Ozark.
That
Ozark,
was good.
dude, it was so good. The first episode, I was like,
Well,
holy
what
shit, I'm hooked.
especially I used to work in anti-money laundering, so, like, I loved it. Um, but the show I'm watching right now is, Wheels of Time
Was
on
it
Amazon. Yeah.
yeah, dude, so me and my wife watched that. That's a good show.
New episode comes out tomorrow.
It does. I just got done watching shit. Let me look this up real quick on Netflix, man. It was really good. It's a Western movie. It kind of reminded me a little bit of I'm a video game nerd, right? So Red Dead Redemption 2, which
Mhm.
was the shit. It was one of the best all-time games ever. The story just dude, it was so good. Hang on, let me bring this up real quick. It was American Primaville.
Yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah,
That
dude, was
was
that
really
not
good.
good, bro? I was like, "Holy shit."
It took me a little bit to get into it. Once you get past that first episode, it got really good, especially that last episode. Holy
Bro.
shit, was that good.
Yeah, because you felt it's just one of those shows you felt like the ending for one of the main characters was coming to an end. For some reason, you
Mhm.
just had this
Absolutely.
this vibe that went through it, especially after I think like the third or fourth episode for me. I was like, yeah, there's something gonna happen.
Yeah. I
Um,
like shows that can keep me where if I can guess what's going to happen
I'm
from the
done.
get-go, I'm
Yeah,
done.
I'm
I'm
done.
like, I'm
Me
done.
too. I'm like, I don't
It's
want to
got to
watch this
kind of
shit.
keep me in suspense or keep me guessing, keep me, wait, is this going to happen or that? But if it's obvious, it's like, fuck it, it
I'm
ain't worth
fucking
watching.
done. No, it's not. Um, dude, horror flicks. I love horror flicks. You like horror movies too?
Nope,
No.
nope, no, because
Okay. I
unless
said
it's
it's
a
okay.
unless it's a suspenseful style one, right? Like, like the one that's off the top of my head is like Mothman, right? Like something like that where it's kind of got that, but like, the Freddys, the Jasons, the all of that, the Saws, it's just to me they're predictable. You know what's going to happen, you know how it's going to happen. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah, I found myself when I first got into horror flicks big time. I was like, dude, you're fucking awesome, right? And then you watch them now, it's very few that keep me on the edge of my seat. And I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen next? Right. Those are the ones I really like. All the other ones are, like you said, they're kind of predictable. I'm like, who the fuck's gonna show up? I'm a big gun guy anyway, concealed carry, all that. I'm like, why are you gonna go out
Hmm.
there without a gun anyway? Like, what's wrong with you? You know, this is a
Like
setup
me, I'm like,
anyway.
why are you running to the problem?
Right. I
Like,
critique it. My wife's like, I
like
can't stand to watch this shit with
it's
you
like
because
it's like who the fuck's doing that? No. Like
nobody.
I hear some shit. My fat ass run the other way. And if you see my fat ass run, you better be running too.
Facts and fast, goddamn it, because there's something coming. Let's go. I love it. Uh, dude. So growing up, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, man. Everybody knows that. Are you Star Wars or a Star Trek guy?
Both.
Okay, okay. I never had
So
nobody say that.
I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek. So I used
Mm,
to, any of the Star Wars comes out, I watch them. I can critique the hell out of all of them if you want me to.
no, okay.
But that's probably another 2 hour conversation.
Right. I was gonna say you're gonna start me
Uh,
down another path.
but Star Trek, the pilot series one, I didn't care for, and the original one you can watch, and it's good. I'm not a big fan of Captain Kirk. I did love Spock. I like that whole thing, but I really loved, with Captain Picard and all that group. That's the one that I liked for Star Trek. That and Deep Space Nine. Outside of that, I kind of didn't really care much for them. But all the Star Wars, I've watched every single one, even the animated stuff.
Me too. I'm a nerd. So speaking of that, since you're a fan of both, what Star Wars character would you be, and what Star Trek character would you be?
Star Wars character? Oh, that one's interesting. I ain't never really thought about that. Now, you want to go the first originals or out of all of them?
Any character your little heart desires that you would be, Mario would be.
Huh. So if I had to pick on a Star Wars character, I'm probably a Han Solo.
Did he shoot first?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I say all the time. You fucking know he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
facts. Okay, so Star Trek. What Star Trek character would you be?
Data,
Data. Yeah, the data guy, the smart one, right? Yeah, I love it.
Data.
Did
Yeah,
Data cook too? Data didn't cook.
Data did everything.
Oh yeah, that's right. He
Because
did
he
do
wanted to
everything.
experience humanity.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
right.
was what's so cool about his character is that he wanted to understand, even though he was like, a robot type deal, he wanted to understand humanity and feel how that truly affected things and how humans thought. And that's what I loved about his character is it progressed. Because to
Yeah,
me, it kind of really reflects a lot of what a lot of us, right? As we're kids and as we're growing over, we're trying to figure out who we are. Anybody tell me exactly who they are and they know exactly, amazing, proud of you, glad you can do it. Guarantee you, if you ever really stopped and looked, there's something there deeper than you even know.
yeah. That's whole part of truly. It's something I tell my son. I was like, look, in order to love somebody, you got to truly love yourself. But
Hmm.
within saying that, in order to be somebody's true friend, you got to love them for their faults and their positives, right? Because nobody's perfect. So you're going to like certain things about certain people, and you're not going to like certain things about the same person. So you got to I guess, decide if you're okay, willing to deal with this person on a day to day basis and fully love them for the positives and the negatives. It's just like when you get with a woman, it's the same freaking thing, right? Nobody's perfect. It's all about compromise and talking and coming to in agreement. So yeah, man, it's life lessons again, right? 101.
Mhm.
So dude, let me ask you this, and I ask this to everybody. If you can invite any three people to a track day, dead or alive, that could be celebrities, that could be your friends, that could be your family, it could be anybody in the world. What three people you gonna invite to your track day?
Hmm. Be my brother that passed away. Be my grandfather, and it'd be my dad.
I love it, man. I love it. I love I get that a lot. Family. And I say it all the time. There's nothing more important than family. They're the ones that
Absolutely.
love you unconditionally and stick by you through thick and thin, and not be
W-
so judgmental.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be blood family.
It don't. It
It's. I
does not
mean,
have to be blood family.
I have people that I've been friends with since I was 14 years old, and I when we introduce each other as brothers.
Yep.
Their mom and dads call me up, "Hey son, how are you doing?" We all stay in touch that way. So,
I love it, man. Um, what advice would you give your younger self?
oh, there's tons of advice I could give my younger self.
Right? Just yeah, me too. What's
Yeah,
one that just stands out?
the one that stands out is don't try to hold on. Learn to let it go.
Let it go. I love it, man. And it's so hard for us to do, especially it's also hard for us, some people that come in the sport, we see them all the time that don't let their ego to the side, think they know
Yeah,
everything, and they end up either hurting themselves or hurting somebody else or just getting so pissed off they just give up altogether on bikes, right? We see it.
and
Um,
that's a big problem in our sport, unfortunately,
it
is,
is.
it's that mentality of just going fast. I'm going to do this. That's how I'm going to get my bump. That's how I'm going to do this. It's not about that. It's about being a good rider. It's about being a better rider. I one of my riders got hurt because someone decided that they wanted to go and torpedo him in a corner instead of just waiting a second and getting them after that corner or get them into the next. I was getting lapped and almost got pushed off the track at a race. I was that far from being in the sand, and it would have ruined my day. For what reason? You're lapping me. Why can't you pass me correctly? I gave you room. There's no reason to try to stand me up.
Not
You know,
yeah,
and to me, it's people like that, they'll eventually weed themselves out. But the
that's the thing
problem
about
is how
sport.
many people are they going to hurt until that happens?
I'm listen, I agree with you. I think that's something that, it's not talked about a whole lot. That's why I bring it up. Again, that all goes back to what I said originally. Just it's the ego, man. You got there's too many people out here that when they get a slice of humble pie, they can't accept how good it is.
Right.
I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody likes the humble pie, but if you can fucking just live it and eat it and say this shit tastes real fucking good, I know what to fix next and go out there and happy and have fun, you're gonna progress and be, fast. If you eat that humble pie and say this tastes like shit and I'm better than you and I fucking know more than you do, then like Mario just said, our sport has a funny way of weeding your ass straight out the door,
Yep.
So yeah, as my grandma said, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord
Yeah.
split you, right? Which it hit me
Yeah.
in the rear end a whole fucking lot when I was growing up. I'll tell you that right now. He knows my back
Absolutely.
end real well, that's for sure. I love it, man. So, dude, are you a video game guy? I finally got my cast off, dude. So I think I'm gonna
Not
get
much,
back on the
man.
sticks for a minute. I can't wait.
I never really got into video games. There's a couple games I get into and stuff, but I just my youth, my childhood was spent playing sports, whether it was baseball, football, basketball, riding mountain bikes, BMXing. You know, I don't. It's hard for me to comprehend someone that sits in front of a video game and plays it all the time. Now, I'm not saying I don't do it because I have played them. I enjoyed going back to the old school days. Showing my age, going to an arcade or something, right? But I I can't do it.
It's good, man. I do, man. It's another way for me to, of course, nothing replaces motorcycle, but it gives me the opportunity to just, turn my mind off and get away from the day-to-day struggles of what we call everyday
Mhm.
life, right? So we
Yeah.
all, everybody deals with it in their own way. I always, of course, try to stay positive, but it is, I get enjoyment out of it and kick out of it still.
Yeah, I kinda wish I could, to be honest with you, like, I wish I could. It's just there's times where I can do it, but again, it's just like reading a book, right?
Yeah.
I'll go through a little thing where it's like, "Okay, yeah, this is cool. Alright, no, I'm done."
I like to sit down with my friends. We all get together and play like Ride 5 or Ride 4 together and just talk shit, and we all suck and crash. And yeah, it's or like I'm into the co-op games. Like me and my buddy there for a while was hard on Ghost Recon Wildlands. It was
Mhm.
such a cool fucking game. It was a war game where you were US and they flew you into Colombia and you had to take down a cartel, and you could take them down in any order. And like, dude, you get in with this militia. It was, yeah, dude, it was just, again, it took you out of the everyday stresses of work and all that bullshit. So yeah, I still played in over 6 months, but because my cast was this big and I couldn't
Yeah,
seem to
couldn't
control it.
move
So,
that hand, yeah.
but now I'm back. So I can't wait to get on them sticks again, boy. I love it. Uh, let me ask you this. If you, Mario, money was no object and you can have any team in Moto America, whether it was Superbike, Super Sport, yada, 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 what category would you be in as far as Superbike, Super Sport? What manufacturer motorcycle would you have? And who's the two current riders currently in Moto America you would put on those bikes?
2 current riders in Moto America. Um, 2 current riders in Moto America, interesting. Honestly, if I had to choose, I would wanna get some of the, people to clone. Brandon would be one, and
Posh,
probably yeah, Brandon, and then also, Stefano.
Mesa's a legend. Dude, they're both legends, man. Okay, so speaking of that, what category would you be in? Twins Cup, Superbike, Super Sport? And what's the manufacturer of motorcycles you'd have?
Triumph Super Sport.
I love it, man. Triumphs sound good, man. Those triples are, and I've ridden many of them. They're lovely bikes to ride. They're so they're agile. They got a lot of mid range. They got good power. They sound really good too.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me ask you this, dude. We're coming close to the end of the podcast. Do you have any superstitions as far as just anything in life? And with that, I always say preparing for battle, whether it's a track day, a race, weekend or whatever. Is there certain things you do to prepare for that? Meaning left boot on before your right boot, certain type of music. Or you just shut it all off and say, dude, we got to check this brisket in 2 hours. Don't forget, Frank, in 2 hours, you got to turn this biscuit when I'm out there on the track, baby. You hear me?
Yeah, my brother, I'm glad my brother comes to the race weekends with me, especially when I'm cooking, because he ends up helping me out a lot doing that. For me, if I had tradition, it's honestly just making sure I'm shaking my friends' hands right before we go out. We're all saying, "Hey, let's go have fun. Let's do that," and then just taking a couple deep breaths right before I leave the pit.
I love it, man. Russ says the Mario Mesa connection is real. And real quick, man, dude, Stefano Mesa, his mama Karen,
That
what
whole
a
family's
mega
awesome.
family. They are absolutely freaking amazing. So again, when you guys go to Moto America, Stefano's coming back from an injury. So big shout out to him. Hope you're recovering well. Can't wait to see you back out there
Absolutely,
collecting those trophies like you always do. But if you guys show up, he's at the track. Make sure you stop by, say hi to him and his mama Karen and everybody because they are absolute legends of the sport. So
absolutely.
110%. So let me ask you this, man. Two more questions and then we'll end the podcast. What's the one superpower you would have?
Invisibility.
Love it, dude. Invisibility. That'd be cool shit, huh? Just to be invisible. I'm not near people.
Oh, I'd fuck with so many people.
Me too. They can see me. They'd be like, what the fuck is going on? It's Mario, man. Come on,
Yeah.
man. I love it. So, last question is Mario, my man. If you could travel back to any era in time, what's the one era you travel back to?
Man, that's an interesting one because I've thought about this one a few times. I'm not sure if it's going to be like, the 20s, 30s, because I've thought about that, kind of really seeing how the industrial or kind of like the industrial age, how it really takes off and everything. But then I've also kind of been like, I want to go to that Renaissance, in Italy type thing and see how some of this stuff has developed. Where the creation of it, like for accounting and how did they come out with certain stuff. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Um, I'm one of those people. I'm very eclectic, very eclectic. I enjoy all kinds of different things, and there's all eras probably intrigue me. I've already lived through the 80s and 90s. I don't care to go back to 'em unless it's to fix some mistakes. But if I had to say something, it'd probably be Renaissance.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, it's I quite often think about that when I ask these questions, like what's the answer I'd give? There's so many different time periods I'd love to go back and see what really took place and what actually happened and how things come to be the way they
Mhm.
are. I'm big into like the pharaohs and Egyptians and the
Yeah.
Spartans and all that of that era. So
Yep.
I'd love to, yeah, go back and just feel the energy and the love and of course the negativity that comes along with it too as well. So yeah, man, it'd be interesting, and I'm also if you listen to my wife, I'm a huge conspiracy theory, right? Because I question everything. I don't care what it is. I'm the kid in class or the rare kid in class that was like example. My teacher says we evolved from monkeys. I was the only kid in school that said yes, Mr. Simcoe. I said, if we evolved from monkeys, why is there still monkeys? We need to see you after class. Like, you can't be asking those questions. What is wrong with you? Right. So I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm just the type of guy that I like to question everything and know why and get an explanation that I guess that I kind of agree with in my
I
mind. I guess I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I guess I
I
am.
used to get in so much trouble with teachers because I would question them.
Dude, everything.
I question them a lot. I challenge them. Just like history, right? So my parents used to take me to actual like the battlefields, the Civil War battlefields, the Revolutionary War battlefields, and we go and walk through the towns and talk to people and you know and I used to remember stories, and then we'd move around. I'd go to a new school, hear something, and hear their version of the history instead of like the local version. And then I knew the local version, and I used to would challenge teachers all the time. I got so my mom got called called so many times because I was doing
Bro.
doing stuff like that.
Bro, me and you're a lot alike in that. I'm the same way. I question, dude. You name it, I question it like it, to the point, dude. So we're getting ready to go down this rabbit hole. This is a whole other podcast, yeah,
Yeah,
man. We
I was
go
gonna
down this
say
rabbit
I'm
hole.
not
Yeah,
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Like I don't follow the conspiracy theories, but I do question a lot of things.
yeah. I question everything.
And I, some of the theories make sense. Some of them are just way out there.
No,
but
you're
there,
right.
but a lot of it, I have a hard time believing things.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I guess that's more the accurate way to say it.
Yeah, because you like me. I got questions. I got to understand why. If you can't come
Yeah,
up with if you keep coming up trying to prove a claim with a claim, I'm like, nah, bro, you can't do
yeah.
that. Like you're confusing me even more. So let's just not go down that all right. So, Russ says, are you excited about the future tech, AI, robots, space? So I am, but it's also scary at the same time. As far as space go, do we really go to the moon? Like I said, I question everything. Right? It's all another,
So
are you a flat earther? Right? Like,
no, I'm definitely not a flat earther. I think there's too much mathematics out there that can prove
right,
that wrong. I mean, I know there's people that do it, and you know what? I'm not one that's going to sit here and argue with someone and go through it. I will listen to people, right? I'll listen to people because I think it's interesting to hear what people think and how they think, and it helps understand that person, right? I
right,
don't have to agree with my friends. I'm not one of those people. I don't have to agree with everybody that I hang out with. If I disagree with you, I'm going to tell you I disagree with you, but I'm going to always do it in a I'm always going to do it in a very respectful way. I
In
mean,
a nice manner. Yeah.
and and I don't mind, but it's everyone's got their own thoughts, everyone's got their beliefs, and some of it I think's crazy, some of it's not. Um, some of them have valid points, but to get to Russ's question, I am excited to an extent. I'm excited because I think the tech is really cool. I think there's some amazing opportunities. I think it can be a great thing. What scares the crap out of me is I don't trust people in power to be able to handle it the correct way.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, when it comes to AI, I mean, just think 20 years ago, they'd say we'd be walking around with a freaking Apple or smartphone in our pocket that had more computer power than what we supposedly went to the moon back in 1969. Now, you'd be like, nah, shut up, whatever. Um, we'll see. I think that us humans naturally, obviously, it's always a power struggle, right? So,
Hmm.
it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm glad in the time period that we're living because it's a great time to be alive, right? We got proper mega racing. A lot of people switch teams. The sport's going in a completely different direction than it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and early
Yeah.
2000s. Um, yeah, I mean, dude. So Dwayne Breezy says, "I am never been to the moon." LOL. Me neither, buddy. Ryan said, "Moon landing was faked." LOL. Listen, this is a whole nother rabbit hole that we can all go down because I'm part of it. Listen, I don't believe we went to the moon neither. There, I said it. Whatever. I just ask my wife. She'll tell you I do this shit all the time. My wife's like, "Just shut up." But anyway, yeah, we'll have this conversation. You guys want to have the conversation with me, Dwayne, Ryan, dude? You got my number, Dwayne. If not, dude, 540-588-5562. Boom, hit me up. We'll definitely chat about it. Listen, Mario Faraone, it's been an absolute honor to sit down with you on this
Man, it's been a
podcast,
blast,
man.
dude.
Bro, I had so much fun. I can't wait to sit down for part two. More than that, it's an honor to be your friend in this short lifetime, and I can't wait to see
Absolutely.
you in Atlanta. And this is why I'm a big hugger. I think it's more personable than a big fist pound and all that. As Mario, he knows I'm a big hugger, so I like
Yeah.
the 876-5309. Brian, dude, that's awesome. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
so at Road Atlanta, be prepared to eat. I'll be there supporting the Carsville Muffler Boys
I will
and the
be.
whole team. We're going to, well, hopefully we have more than one rider show up. We've been having been on a struggle bus here lately. Um, but I plan on bringing, we built my brother a direct smoker, 55 out of a 55-gallon drum. I'll bring my PK grill. Right now, I'm thinking about setting up like a taco bar type thing, doing some stuff like that. If you're friends with me or you don't know me, come by, stop by, say hi. Definitely see my riders and everything. We'd like to have fun. To me, I personally think we're the hooligan team that's having the most fun in the grid. We were pulling people with wagons and still, being professional, but at the same time, we're having fun. We have no delusions of grandeur or anything. We're there to have fun and do the best that we can at the same time. And I'll be doing that. Be cooking for the team and enjoying that. Walk around the paddock. And you see me, say hi.
100%. Yeah. And on that note, first thing I always want to say, man, is thank you so much to everybody that watches and likes this podcast. Without Mario and everybody else coming on here, I would not be able to do this. So it's nothing. Hold up. I can make a heart emoji finally after all this time, kind of. So, yep, there we go again. It's
There it
back,
is.
right? So that's nothing but love to every single one of you guys and girls out there. Again, it's an honor to be able to do this. Big shout out to Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today. Financial is something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but Seth has been in the game a long time. He is a racer. He has next level suspension too as well. Why wouldn't you want to talk to financial stuff with a friend that you can trust versus somebody you don't know and don't trust at all, right? So give him a shout, no matter what it is, 401k, buying a house, savings. Hey, how can I save it? What's the best way to save it for these Pirellis for the next track day or whatever it is? Hit
Absolutely,
them
because
up.
we know we're all poor.
Facts, right? So listen, Next Level Financial, you guys are welcome. Again, big shout out to Bison Track for all your leather needs, Chef Eats for all your food needs. TST Industries. Big shout out to the Clothing Kings.co.uk. You guys can go to that website, get all your Pendergast merch. You guys stay tuned. I haven't announced it yet, but it is coming up. I will have merch sold here in the United States too, here coming up soon. I will drop all the links and all that good stuff as soon as it's ready and available, which I'm super excited about.
Hey, we're going
Um,
to need some quadruple extra fat stuff.
I got you, dude. Trust me, I do. I got you. Big shout out to Superbike Supply, my boy Eric. Hashtag do it for dad. SFL Mini GP. Listen, if anybody's out there in the game that wants to get their child into the sport, or you yourself, no matter what age you want to get out there and just ride, look no further than SFL Mini GP, whether you're in Jersey or South Florida. It's the
Yep.
best program we have here in America. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to my man Juju. He races in the British Talent Cup,
Yep.
and also he's doing double duty in the American Talent Cup this year too as well. So big shout out to RD Racing and my boy Jake Marsh out there in BSB. I got a buddy has a program called Vet 2 Track. He has his program's absolutely amazing. It's tackling PTSD one lap at a time. So if any of my vets out there want to get around the races and like-minded people, look no further than Vet 2 Track. It's absolutely amazing. Big shout out to Flying Eyes Optics for your sunglass needs. 64-degree racing. So I say it all the time. Yes, I am an ambassador, right? But you have two type of people in this world too. You got one piece undersuits and two pieces. I find myself I love both, depending on what race weekend event, the weather. There's a lot of parts that actually play with picking an undersuit, which you never thought about when you first get into it.
Yep.
But yeah, Bison Track, dude. They have my favorite one piece undersuit. The main thing that I love about my Bison undersuit is it's got the man zipper, so I got to take everything off. So I just take off the top, unzip, and I'm good to go, right? My man Tate at 64-degree race had made me this custom two-piece undersuit right here. It is my favorite two-piece undersuits. If I open my closet, I got a shit ton of undersuits right throughout the years. um I even went to Under Armour and Nike and all with the cold gear and all that. It's not the same as a legit undersuit. um so if anybody's in the market for undersuit, of course you got Bison, you got my man Tate at 64-degree racing, and you got my girl Aliki at Venom. um VenomUndersuits.com. It's actually VenomSport.com. This is actually Jonas Folger's. Remember when he raced in
Yeah.
MotoGP? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is his actual undersuit she sent me. I got one coming. I can't wait to get my Venom top in the mail. I can't wait to try that out. So, but yeah, again, I got so many people in the industry. You're not going to go wrong from ordering from any one of these. Again, like we talked about earlier, find where your personality bets fits and go with that. You're not going to go wrong whether it's Bison 64 degrees or Venom. Big shout out to Ghetto Customs for the body work. Everybody knows who Chris Parrish is. Not only is he fast, he makes the best body work in the business. If you're in Pennsylvania, look no further than Carnes Performance. Don't go to any other dealership in Pennsylvania but Carnes Performance. Big shout out to KYT Helmets America. Some of the
Absolutely.
best helmets you're ever going to buy on the planet. I tell everybody about it all the freaking time. Helmets is one of those things that
You got to have a good helmet. That's something I learned at an early age. Got to have a good helmet. And I tried that KYT on at Daytona. Guys, if you're listening, I will be coming to you at Road Atlanta. So make sure you have that. Make sure you have that extra large for me. Since you didn't have one at Daytona, have it for me.
that's it. So my boy Brandon, if you're listening, KYT helmet, Brandon Cray too. He's an absolute legend. You guys go back and listen to our podcast I did with him. Yeah, he's the head guy at KYT Helmet America. He's also a TT, raced at the TT and all that good stuff. So um, big shout out to all my boys at K-Tech Suspension and Moto America, Birch, Kendall, and Dakari, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. So when you guys show up to Moto America, you see people walking around in K-Tech, make sure you stop by, say hi. And if they look at you like, who are you? Just tell them Simcoe from Pin the Gas sent you. No, they might run away from you real fast. So don't say that at all. No, I'm just joking. So big shout out to them. If you're in North Carolina, look no further than Ready to Race RTR, North Carolina. It's absolutely amazing people. If you're in Virginia, Coleman Power Sports. Don't go to no other dealership. If anybody ever wanted to do a track day at a Moto GP track like Bruno or Magello or anywhere, look no further than McLeo Escapes Track and Tour. He's a buddy of mine that host all these track events around the world, and it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, look into that. I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com. Sign up and
Absolutely.
donate to the air fence. It's imperative that
Air
we have
fence
the air
saves us.
fences. Yes, very much so. Even if you donate $5, hey, it's
Absolutely.
$5 we need, right? So we appreciate you. And if you're at the track, Chris Ulrich usually has his 2-up bike. And when they're doing donations there, I forget what the minimum donation is. You get a 2-up ride with the legend Chris Ulrich on the back of a GSXR 1000, which I want to do. I'm just waiting on my wrist to heal, and I'm gonna get on the back of that bike and scream like a little girl. I can't wait. So,
Uh,
um,
and
please
then
go to Road Race Girl.
and then
Go
when you're
ahead.
at a track that has a air fence, offer to help it. Offer to help put it up.
Dude, facts. Speaking of that, dude, I've been meaning to do this. Good buddy of mine, Dan F. He goes around to the Moto America events and puts up all the scaffolding and stuff, and he's always looking for help. So if anybody wants to help Dan before the race weekend and after the race weekend, put up the scaffolding and take it down, your weekend is pretty much paid for. You get into the track for free. They feed you, they pay you, and what's not to love, right? So if anybody wants to do any of that, get in touch with me. I'll put you in direct contact with Dan. And again, thank you so much. Big shout out to STG, Brian Van and Max Van. Again, another one of my buddies in the industry that sell all kinds of gear and motorcycle parts. You're not going to go wrong from ordering from, again, any of my friends. Um, Big shout out to, I got a couple buddies in the industry that make graphics. Of course, Chris at Drip and Wet. Everybody knows who Drip and Wet is.
Mhm.
Another one is REB Graphics, which he's absolutely amazing too.
Absolutely.
Reese and Gus Radio at GRG Graphics, man. All three of them make the best products you can buy. Again, you're not going to go wrong ordering from any one of them. So if you need graphics, there's 3 choices. Don't go anywhere else. Go to one of those 3. They're in the paddock. Show the love, spread it. Um, if anybody of my UK friends out there want to get proper coaching, which I'm big into coaching, you want to get coached by Mike the Spike Edwards, which is an absolute BSB legend. You go to v121pro.com or mike/edwards.net and sign up. Big shout out to the BTR Build Train Race Royal Enfield program. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of theirs. So yeah, when you
Absolutely.
guys
Michaela
show up,
killed it the
yes,
last 2 years.
dude, Michaela absolutely murdered. Big shout out to Kara Knibble on your first win this year.
Mhm.
Lucy Blondell, Miranda Kane. I mean, I got Brianna Cutler. I got so many friends out there. I love it, man. I love the whole BTR program. I'm actually going to be a guest of BTR at VIR, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go behind the scenes and hang out with other girls and talk shit the whole time because that's what we do. We talk shit. Big shout out to Racer 411 program at tippingracing.com out there. Aunt Lee Terry, him and Venom. They do a lot of track days and racing out there in California. So you guys go there, sign up. They have a membership program that saves you 40% off all kinds of goodies. So log in and check it out. Big shout out to California Superbike School in the UK, Gary, and of course out here in the US too. Big shout out to Cole King at King Performance. Any of my buddies have Harleys and Indians. Everybody knows who Cole King is. He's a freaking flat track legend turned road racer. He also has his own shop. So big shout out to all my boys out here in Virginia at Turn 12. My buddy Obsession Engineering, Dave Hewson, he's out there in the UK. He races the TT. He's got a YouTube channel too called Obsession Engineering. It's his business. Is absolutely awesome. I love his YouTube channel. Yeah, I had to give a shout out. And last but not least, BTI Photos. And I have a lot of friends. My buddy Jeff Heiser, Bearded Production. I need to write that down. But big shout out to him. He follows Max Flinders around, which is another buddy of mine.
Mhm.
So anytime you see the videos of Max, Jeff's the one that's actually shooting them. So he's an absolute legend to himself. But dude,
Yeah.
listen, that's a huge shout out I just did
Yeah.
again.
Now I got to do my shout outs now.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
to
of
say,
course. Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna end the podcast.
yeah, Evolve GT track days, as we're racing out here on the East Coast and going into Midwest, we're getting ready to go out to the Ozarks. Everyone keeps telling me that's going to be an amazing track, that owner out there is willing to do what he can do, anything he can do to make it safe for motorcycles and ensure that that we have the best racing in the United States. So guys, please don't shy away from it. I know people have seen the YouTube videos. Please don't shy away from it. They are changing the track. They are making it safe for motorcycles. So don't believe some of the stuff that's out there. So we got Azure Racing, we got McCarsville Muffler Team. Please come and see us, all us super hooligans, RSD, Mission Foods. Those guys are doing great. Got to shout out some of my barbecue people, Tillman's Barbecue. These guys do amazing work for sauces. They have the #1 sauce in the world right now. They placed gold for American Royal reach out to Tillman's Barbecue. And then, guys, Chris, I've absolutely enjoyed it. Had an amazing time, man. It's going to be great seeing you in Road Atlantic. Come by and see some food, get some good food.
Bro, you already know I'm going to. That's a given, dude. Anytime we're at the track together, it's always going to be a good time. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
wait, dude. Listen, the honors on my Mario.
Oh, I forgot too. Hazardous Racing and Custom Performance. And also, we got another graphics guy, Handlebar Vinyl. He's always there at some of the local track days in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina area. If you see him out there at the track, you need number plates, hit him up. He'll do it right there at the track day for you.
There you guys go. And if you guys miss this, or you tuned in halfway, as soon as I end this, you can go back to my YouTube channel and watch it, or my Facebook. It'll be out everywhere tomorrow, Spotify, Heart, and all that good stuff. So we got William Posse in the house. What is up, William, dude? Another legend. Can't wait to see you at Atlanta, William. And then you guys tune in tomorrow. I got Tommy Separano coming on tomorrow. Separano Classics. It's yeah. So you guys stay tuned. That's going to be a good one. And then Friday, you guys tune in at 1 p.m. I got the legend Kara Knibble, first BTR race win. So she's coming on, and yeah, that'll be the rest of the week. And then the following next week, I got Brad Baker part 2 coming on the 24th. I got Brian Tuna Mullins coming back on. I got Alex Johansson and my buddy Jay Power, and then I got Lucy Blondell coming back on. And then the 29th, I have Dan Spalding and Jamari coming on. And then after that, I will see you guys at Atlanta, and I can't wait. So
it's going to be a blast, my man.
Dude, it's going to be awesome. Cool thing is this new microphone that I got. It's a Type C, so I could take it, plug it directly in my cell phone, my headphones, plug in my mic, and guess what? I can do live podcasts at the track now. So yeah, let's go. But anyway, that's enough me running my mouth. I need to go take a shower. It's been 6 months in this cast. I'm dying to wash my arms. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. If you had not yet, please go hit that like and that bell. You guys know the deal, the ding, ding, ding. And I love you. I can't wait to see every single one of you. And I can't wait to sit back down and do this again. Again, Mario, thank you so much for coming on. It's an absolute honor, my friend.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
All right. On that note, we will see you guys tomorrow. All right, let me end this. Just stay with me just for 1 second. Hang on.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.